Alright, tell me if I'm back. Let's see, I'll check my Facebook feed. Alright, it's still cracky. Why is this happening? Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing, testing, 1, 2, 3. Of course, someone can join me at any time and their audio might be better than mine. Let's see now. Why is the audio there? So is it too loud? Okay, well, if you can hear me, I'll continue to you know, work on the audio. But again, thank you for joining me. We're moving on with Crafters Tavern number 25, where, of course, you know, the big news is that we have begun the Tabletop Crafters Guild, an amalgamation of the 4 channels, the DMG Info, which is me, Wilux Crafting Vids, and Black Magic Craft, as well as the Craft Father himself, the DM's Craft. So it's we've been talking about it for a while, and we finally pulled the trigger, and hopefully this will be onwards and upwards for the community, and things are going to be quite good going on. The things we have planned, I think, are going to be a big change, and all the things you love and enjoy are just going to be enhanced by what we're up to. So, roll for damage if you wanted to join. The link is appear.in/the DMG info. I'll just put it in the chat. So you just have to copy and paste that into your browser. Okay, so yes, unfortunately, all the technology changed in the last 30 days since the last broadcast. So that is why the chat window is not working at the moment. But what I'm going to do, I'm going to just dump in the YouTube chat. So all the other outlets, we'll have to work out something for the next broadcast. So just hold on 1 sec while I put that in there. There we go. So at least we've got some semblance of chat happening. Thank you everyone who's joining me on all the various different platforms. Yeah, this is a monthly broadcast, which is on the 4th Friday of the month. US time, it is 8 p.m. Eastern. The rest of the gang would obviously have wanted to have joined me for this, but being Thanksgiving weekend, everyone is all over the show. Different and varying and non-existent internet and broadband speeds made it a little bit impossible for scheduling. But going on in 2018, it will be regularly. You will have at least 2 of us on each show, we will hope to have all of us every now and again as well as you guys from the community as well. Welcome to join in. I am still working on the audio problem as we go, so if you have any questions, dump them in the chat, and while I'm working on the audio, then I'll get to get to those. Still not sure why the audio is so bad. Hang on, let me replug this mic in. Alright, tell me if the audio improved after doing that. See if that's an improvement. I don't know how much is coming through. So I'm just going to check my Facebook feed again, because at least that audio I can hear straight away. So testing, 1, 2, 3. Ah, how are you? Good. Can you hear me? Yeah, it's different microphones. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to probably switch my mics, and we'll see if that makes a difference. But tell us a bit about your channel and what you've been up to, so that people know who you are and what's going on. Oops, we just lost PJ. Sorry, you just dropped out there a second, PJ. I can hear you, yes. So just start again would be the best. Whoop. Sorry. Sorry, I accidentally cut you off. So you were talking about your DM screen? Yeah. Okay, I just want to find out from the chat if anyone can actually hear me now. Okay, I've switched microphones, so can you hear me, PJ? Okay, so I'm staticky for you, but I want to find out if I'm staticky for the chat, for the stream, because it's different microphones. So yeah, in the chat, obviously there's a delay in me broadcasting to going out, so I'm just going to check the Facebook feed, because it's a little bit closer, so I might get some change there. Oh yeah, it sounds a lot better now. Okay. Okay, so unfortunately, the sound is bad for PJ, but it's good for everyone else. So unfortunately, PJ, you're going to have to suffer a little bit, so long as you can hear what I'm saying. PJ, you there? Okay. So, yes, PJ's channel is a fantastic channel. You must check it out. As I put in the chat there, it's Roll for Damage. And there's lots of great stuff to view. He's obviously working on his DM screen that's going to be coming up soon. So if you're interested in that sort of material and you've seen it on the Tabletop Crafters Guild Facebook page in the past few days or weeks you've been putting it up, isn't it? Still wrangling kids. So yes, one of the questions earlier, sorry, I was distracted by all the audio, so I'm just going to scroll back through the chat here so I can get back to that question. Where is it? What are your short-term, 6-month and long-term goals, 2 to 5 year for the TCG? Well, we don't know. 2 to 5 years is very difficult to predict on anything on the internet, but our short-term goals is we will start to do very regular collaborations. So what that will mean is we might do our own versions of the same build. So we might go, okay, we're going to do, for Jeremy just did a tavern, for instance. So we may all do our own version of that tavern. We're also going to start to put together a module, and we'll all do a level of the module, and we'll do terrain and things for module like that. So those are the kinds of things we're looking to do as creators on YouTube. In terms of what it means for the community, obviously you're getting more content, but we obviously are going to be approaching, and you would have seen this already with Scotty's video released today, we're going to approaching people to get discounts for the community, and do product reviews on new things that people are bringing out, spotlight Kickstarters and things like that, especially if there are people in the community that have been in the community for a while and they've been helping out the community. We want to help to build those people and those entities through the Tabletop Crafters Guild. So that's what you should be looking forward to. I'm just going to scroll through and see if there are any other questions. Of course, if you do have any questions, please pop them in the chat. If you actually want to be part of the stream and have a live video chat, you can join me at appear.in/DMG info. PJ might have just dropped off. I think he might be child wrangling again. So Patrick Burton, happy post-apocalyptic shopping day. Yes, it's always fun to watch the Americans brawling with one another in the shops every year. Hi, Spunk, my senior, how's it going? He lives around the corner from me. And let's see. Yeah, perhaps the DMG could craft a better internet communications program. I should. The problem is that they actually changed it on me. So, I do this show obviously once a month. But, they recently the streaming system that I use has changed because they want to facilitate Facebook, but Facebook changes every 2 or 3 days. So it can actually be quite difficult to pick up. So, people in the Facebook chat, I'm just going to see if there's any questions there. Obviously, there's a lot about the problem we've been having with the sound. But if you have any questions there, I will check that from time to time. And Dwayne Babakata, hi from Texas. Hi from Sydney. Okay. Mark Moyer, any thoughts on talking to Watsy about doing collabs to highlight crafting like they do with group games? Yes, so obviously at the moment everything is on paper as to the kinds of things we want to do. We will be talking to companies like that to highlight the craft. We'll see what kind of streaming channels we can do some collabs with in terms of getting terrain onto live streams.
and highlighting the community in that way. So it wouldn't just be our stuff we'd be sending them to. We could send people from the guild itself, from the Facebook page. We could probably do a call around and ask people to donate some pieces of their terrain to go onto a big live stream, or something like that. So those are the things we're considering doing to spotlight the craft, and to get out the fact that we actually exist, because our channels combined have more than 100,000 subscribers, and we're a significant sub niche of the role-playing genre. And role-playing itself is obviously shown to be very beneficial to people, in terms of not only entertainment, but it actually has benefits to you from a social and psychological standpoint. And we believe that the craft actually has that really enhances those aspects as well. So I would just like to thank everyone who's given us a warm welcome to starting this endeavor, all the comments on the launch videos that we've done. Yeah, I firmly believe that this will be a big year for all of us, not the four of us, but everyone in the community. Yes. Lord Morbius has a question. So if you have a question, it's probably good to put in like hashtag question or something, make it easier for me to spot it. So Lord Morbius, for those of us interested in melodramatic role playing, will the Tabletop Crafters Guild have any Hollywood style sex scandals? There was talk about that. Scotty's twerking has obviously got a large following in certain circles. So we'll see what's happening. So always space for a very weird and bizarre video. Yeah, should try Geek and Sundry. They stream a lot of tabletop games. Absolutely, there are a lot of streamers. So it's obviously there are very big ones. So you've got your Geek and Sundry's Critical Role. You've got Maze Arcana. You've got all those sort of things. But then there's the other ones like Save or Dice, which are obviously people that are known to our community. There's Encounter Roleplay. There's other things like Hat Films who do. They're a very big channel that do more raucous type of streams, but there is a lot of scope for getting ourselves known in those areas. So for the first project ever, better to make basic tiles or dice tower. Began watching all four of you about a week ago. Was able to start right as your stream started. So for your very first project, so if you're going to build a tile set, then you've got to, as you've been doing, I would watch my channel because this is the stream I'm on, and Wylock's and Black Magic Craft and DM's Scotty's, the DM's Craft channels, and pick the style that you like, because we each have a sort of a way of doing tiles. And then build a basic set. So your basic set is a general set that you can use all the time. So that would be like dungeon tiles and wooden floor tiles and things like that, so that you can have a little village house to put the miniatures in, or a dungeon or something to that effect. Once you've got your basic set, so you can go into your first game pretty quickly and you've got a whole bunch of stuff to do, you can then of course start to build the extra accoutrement that will obviously tickle your fancy as you watch more and more videos. But start with a basic set. As far as a dice tower goes, there's plenty of different ways of building dice towers. If you look at Craftonomicon #1, there's actual plans for how you can build a dice tower. That's available on my website, thedmg.info/store. And my wife, who's actually watching the stream, who she can't quit now, but she's actually working on Craftonomicon #2. So that will be available very soon. Now, so she has to finish it. There's no screaming coming from the room next door, so. All right, question from Lord Morbius. Real one this time. Will the TCG be sponsoring any crafting contests for terrain, miniature painting, and adventure designs? Yes, again, this is part of it. We want to do a lot more in terms of, what we used to do on the forum where we had Craft War and things like that. Obviously, the Facebook following is significantly larger, and the forum, unfortunately, does not have the same draw that it used to. And we obviously want to try to grow the community, which is basically one of the founding principles of the TCG, the Tabletop Crafters Guild. Our #1 line item is we want to grow the community. Obviously, we do want to grow ourselves as well, but our primary goal is to grow the community, and part of that is creating events and community things to build upon. I mean, ideas I've been throwing around and we're putting on paper is to organize people going to cons, conventions and things like that. So, meetups, all that kind of stuff. That's all the kinds of things that we have on the cards. Obviously, there's a lot. So, we have to kind of, at the moment, it's going to be small and, it's going to be collab videos and things like that. But as we get, great ideas and questions and things like this from the community itself, we will begin to work on those. And, also, which is what part of what we're doing, is we want to have more members in the guild, which means channels that have grown to a certain size who have an ongoing commitment to the community, so they're always involved, they're putting out regular content, they are helping other channels, they're helping people in the community, things like that. We already know who candidates are, so if you're interested, you can always sort of be aware of the fact that we know who certain candidates are, and we will approach people and help smaller channels where which we already do. As PJ just said, for Roll for Damage, I helped him, and Wylock helped him, and that sort of thing. And we actually have a Facebook group for crafting content people who create for YouTube and things like that. So we're extending that more publicly now than we did more. We did a lot behind the scenes, but we're doing it a little bit more publicly now. So let's turn to some other questions. Yeah, the market is flushed with great RPG streams at the moment. It's hard to find time in the week for more than 2, especially when they run for about 4 hours or 6 hours or some of these. There is I think, if you were going to start a stream, there is a lot of space in the market for a short stream, like a 30-minute. So if you can get the 30-minute version going, because you'll probably get a much better audience traction with a 30-minute streaming broadcast than you will with a 4-hour broadcast. 4-hour broadcasts are great, but yes, it's a lot of investment of time for an audience. So they may not, if you're having a continuing story, it may be difficult for them to watch that amount of content. So you kind of have to then jerry-rig your game to work in a condensed form. I think you will have a lot of success if you're out there thinking about streaming by doing something like that. Let's see, what else we got here? Question: would it be possible for the guild to take a genre, fantasy, modern, sci-fi, etc., and make a series where each member provides a few builds towards the genre? Absolutely. So we've already talked about things like Starfinder, where Starfinder obviously has just come out, where that's a huge space that no one has really, well, the 4 of us have not really gone into, which is science fiction. Wylock has touched on it briefly. Scotty has touched on it briefly. I don't think I've done anything science fiction-y at this point. I've got a lot of ideas as part of my 800 video list that eventually I will get through over the next 40 years or something. But yes, What else we got? After the build, the first batch of tiles, what to build? Extra rooms, specifics, generic decorations, different batches. Yeah, it really depends on your game. So if you're doing a high fantasy game, there's lots of magic and things, and then having lots of magical type areas and stuff. But remember, I mean, the way I approach it, obviously each of the other guys has their own spin on this. So, this is my personal opinion. My personal opinion is you start with the floor, then you have the walls, and then you have the mise en scene inside, the tables and the chairs and the doors and things. So you can, I mean, the floor is the floor. That doesn't really change. Stone is stone. But when it comes to things like tables and chairs and cupboards and doors, that's where you can start to change the theme of what it is that you're doing. So I would still stick to generic stuff, because if you do something very specific, you may only use it once. So you could pour a lot of time and effort into a one-use item, and then, it'll sit on a shelf for a long time. So always think, how can this basically be used in a generic way? And I think all 4 of our channels do that very well in trying to keep things generic, and of a certain theme. So, Scotty's, obviously you've got different tiles, desert tiles and ice tiles and all that kind of stuff, sticking with the same sort of craft motif. With mine, it's basically changing color of the tiles. But I haven't moved out of the fantasy realm yet, but I do intend to continue into that. Four hours is why I tend not to watch streams, just too darn long. Yes. And that's the thing is, it's difficult to get people to sit through a 4-hour movie, that cost $400 million to produce. So getting someone to sit through a 4-hour thing of 4 people giggling and rolling dice is a tough ask. And obviously there are people who do it very well. I'm not knocking it. I'm not saying, I mean, I've done the Tilvertonians, but the Tilvertonians work much better as individual 30-minute videos than it did as one long 3.5-hour video. So that comes down to, again, recording and editing. So you can edit out all the bits and pieces that are slow or not working, and just keep the story happening and keep it to that sort of 30-minute mark. Then it's easy to digest, and it's easy for people to find their place in the story and that sort of thing. And you can also see what parts of the story are working and what parts of the story are not working as well. But if you're interested in that kind of thing, there's my channel 7D System, which obviously I do a lot of streaming on that for my patrons, and we have a weekly game that I stream on that channel. But I will be doing the second episode, which is split up into several episodes, of the Tilvertonians. I'm working on that now. There's a significant amount of work that goes into that, to edit it down and add the artwork and all those sort of things. But the first one was really successful. Everyone enjoyed it, so I hope to continue on with that. Right, another question. Will the DMG be releasing more of his videos on how to scratch build miniature figures and monsters? Yes. So part of the reason why I wanted to be part of the Tabletop Crafters Guild is it's giving me something to work towards. I was struggling a lot with the DMG as an outlet, because I wasn't really working towards something specific. And I discussed this with the other guys, and I said, I want something to work towards, so that there's a goal in mind as to what this is all for, and because otherwise it's a bit all over the show, and it doesn't really have a clear focus on what it's up to. And we all agreed that that's what we all really want, is we all really want a way to get us all the ability to generate content and to produce the kinds of stuff that you guys want to watch, because ultimately, if we're creating the things we like to do and it's the kind of stuff you like to watch, it's good for you, it's good for us, it's good for the community at large, because we can involve more people and do a lot more. So yeah, thank you for all the questions that are coming thick and fast. I should actually check Facebook just now as well, because I can only see the YouTube chat at this point. Where was the question? Will you take up my challenge of making a video that follows you on the scrounge as you gather crafting materials in your local habitat? Yes, Spunkmeyer Sr., you are going to be roped in as the videographer for said scrounging craft. In fact, while my wife was driving the car yesterday, I spotted the car in front of us, had a whole pile of cardboard in the back seat, and I was filming that as though we were chasing this person to try and steal their cardboard. So those are the kinds of things I want to start to integrate into my videos, scrounging around, talking to big companies and saying, listen, we have a community of 100,000 people who, 15,000 followers on Facebook and 100,000 YouTube subscribers all over the world, and we want to showcase your products and show them how they can use them, because sometimes there's products that people put out that they don't realize are being used for a specific purpose that it wasn't really intended for. Companies will enjoy the fact that people will want to push a product in a way that they hadn't thought of. So yes, you are being roped in. You were overseas, otherwise we would have done it earlier. Question: will the DMG lab be continued as well? Plenty of techniques and materials that still need testing. Absolutely. The DMG lab is, I started that because there's a whole bunch of things that, half the time my videos, I shoot them as I build stuff, so I don't know what it's actually going to look like in the end. I'm just filming the episode. Thankfully, 99% of the time it works out great. And then when I edit it, I do the voiceover, and it's as though I meant to do it like that from the very beginning. But that's not my style. My style is slap it together. And then you can see that it's easy. You can see me doing it. And it's there. The DMG's lab was okay. I've never used a certain material before. How does this material work? What am I going to be doing with it? And so, yes, that is going to continue. One of the things I want to experiment, which is probably it's in the list, and it's probably next on the list, is cold porcelain, which a lot of people use for little charms and things and jewelry. I know that it shrinks, but at least now you can actually create some things with a very cheap material. And you can make lots of little bits and pieces that you can use in your game if you're not terribly worried about scale. But I've never used the stuff, and I've never made the stuff, so that is going to be very soon in the lab. Patrick Burton, like a DMG POV vlog. No, actually, Spunkmeyer Senior will be holding the camera and watching me do dumpster diving. That's what he's referring to. By the way, what do you think about 3D print for scenario? Yes, so that is obviously becoming a large part of the crafting world. Not just for creating whole pieces, but creating bits and pieces as well to use in your craft. So that is going to be one of our things we're going to be looking at. There's lots of people in the community who produce things for 3D printing. There are lots of people in the community who have 3D printers, who are experimenting with 3D printers. So when we start to look at products and things like that, one of the things we will probably look at is 3D printers, because there's so many to choose from, and how do you choose one? I don't even know. So part of that process will be, I know Scotty, I think, has one, and I'm pretty sure Wylock has one. I'm not sure if Jeremy has one, but I don't have one. So it would be, for us, that's part of the ongoing effort, is to find these products, how they work, and do that all that sort of stuff. Please don't make a gallium fidget spinner. Please. That's first on my list now. The gallium fidget spinner. You heard it here first. It's all his fault. Question: would it be possible for adopting a standardized format for official TCG videos? They all have links for online sources of supplies and all local shops that may carry materials. Yeah, so that's what we're working on. Obviously we haven't really started the whole process yet. We've got a list of things we'd like to do, and we're narrowing it down to this is what we're going to start with doing. We obviously need to contact stores and things like that. If you know people who are in these kinds of companies, in the hierarchy and the people who do marketing or social media or whatever, send it to us so that we can talk to them about doing this sort of thing, because it's going to help everybody. Right, I'm just going to have a look at Facebook quickly, because when you're doing work, you want to check out Facebook. No, there's been no questions on Facebook. Still broadcasting on Facebook, so. Facebook, chat people, where are you? So we're up to about 24 viewers at the moment on YouTube. So thank you everyone for joining us from everywhere in the world. I know there's some people from Holland, America, Australia, just because I know who these people are. But if you're from somewhere exotic, you can plonk it in there. I think there's someone from Brazil. But if you're from Iceland or something, tell us where you're from so we know who's watching. Who is watching? Right, so of course you can join me on appear.in/the DMG info. Don't be scared, I don't bite very hard. And you can join me in the video chat so that people will know who you are in the community. So putting a face to a Facebook name. And also, if you are running a YouTube channel, it's an open invitation to join us. So don't think it's just for the 4 of us to do this kind of thing. We welcome anybody of any size to join us at any time. That's what this is all about. Yeah, we have 24 viewers, only 13 likes. Come on, guys, show some love for the GMG. Love me, please. Click that like button. I don't have my shirt. Where is it? Damn. Where's my super suit? It's getting a bit like nerdarchy here, where people are... I knew Shinplay was from Brazil. I picked it. North Carolina. Just all the Carolinas happening here. Exotic Brownsburg, Indiana. Haven't been to Brownsburg, Indiana. I think I might have driven through Indiana. I don't know. I'd have to check my map. We may not. Melbourne. That's very, very exotic. Slidell, Louisiana. Wesley Brooks from Like Button. I'm totally into 3D printed scenarios. I really love to know that you guys are looking into it. Yes. We recognize that obviously it's something that's here to stay, and it will become part of it, but we will not lose the non-3D printed aspect of it, because obviously 3D printing, there's 2 parts to it. There's the designing the 3D stuff, and then there's the printing the 3D stuff. So, we want to talk to the people who do the designing. How do you do it on your computer? How do you scan in your own creation? So that's what I'm interested in. Building it 3D myself, scanning it in and printing it off so I can make multiple copies. That's what I'm interested in. So that's the kind of stuff we'll be looking into. Smash the like button. Good old Edmonton, Alberta. It's all the exotic American locations. So what I think also is something we should be pushing, and someone was talking about it on Facebook earlier a few hours ago, is doing meetups, because a lot of this is online, and I've never personally met DM Scotty or Jeremy or Wylock or anybody else from the other channels and things. So, in fact, Spunkmeyer Senior might be the only person that I've met through all of this, physically in person. So I think we need to do more to take it a little bit offline, and grow it that way as well. Because as you can see, there were a few people in North Carolina, so North Carolina can't be that big. It's not Australia size. To go to my friend there in Melbourne, that's a bit of a drive. Question: what are your solutions for storing all your crafted items? Buying a bigger house. No. Most of my stuff is under a table. So I have my crafting table and everything kind of fits in under that. And when it gets too big and starts to overflow, then I will probably give stuff away. I have sold a few things on eBay. I have given some things away to certain select fans, but it's not. Yeah, if you go too overboard with individual things and you're not keeping it generic, then it will start to overflow significantly. And then your cupboard will fill up, your room will fill up, your garage will fill up. Then your living room fills up, you get a divorce, and then you have to get another house. And then rather consider a warehouse, because, yeah, you're going to need the space, and then an aircraft hangar, and, yeah, you essentially are going too far. So, Lord Morbius, I think I met DM Scotty once when we were both in a holding cell for disorderly conduct and public drunkenness. No, wait, there was an episode of Doctor Who. Yes, I do wear pants. I actually have, well, no. I do normally wear pants. Come down for Mardi Gras and have an extra room. I have said this, I don't know if I've said this publicly before, but what I want to do is I want to do a documentary, because I've done 2 documentaries before. I want to do a documentary of the community and the role-playing community at large. And obviously there's key areas in the world that this happens in, and there are 4 major countries that watch my channel, and the documentary would probably go through those 4 major countries. So Australia, because I live here, it's easy. America, because it's a very large audience. The UK, obviously, large audience, and is close to Holland and Germany and Norway and Sweden, and where all the other wonderful people are in Europe. And then Brazil. Now, I was fascinated by the fact that Brazil is the 4th largest viewing country of my channel. I've struggled to learn Portuguese, but but yes, so I have been toying around with the idea of doing well, I suppose you'd call it a world tour, but we as the Tabletop Crafters Guild, if we could work out some way to do where we all kind of meet up and go to a convention. But my idea is to shoot a documentary about the community, and the significant impact that this has on people's lives, because I get messages all the time from people about how it's positively affected their lives, and the fact that role-playing is a significant part of it as well. We're obviously a sub-niche of that, but there are a lot of people that we as creators actually communicate with and are friends with behind the scenes from a lot of other channels like Nerdarchy and things like that. So doing a documentary on that, I think, would be quite nice to kind of meet the people away from this, how would you call it? It's almost a sanitized view of reality going through something like this, because I play a guy on YouTube. Who is Scotty the Man? What does Warlock do, in his spare time that's not crafting? But yeah, I think that is something I would really, really like to do. Obviously, that requires funding, because I'm not a wealthy person. Otherwise, I'd be broadcasting from my castle in Europe, which I have not yet put a down payment on. But you can help with that by going to the dng.info/store and buying something for 99 cents. I need like a few million of those transactions. Can I be your cameraman on this project too? I don't know. We've got to see what your camera work's like on the dumpster diving, and then you can kind of graduate to, following me around in a car or something, and then you might get to international filmage. Yeah, I'm not a real crafter, but sometimes I play one on YouTube. That's right. He's pegged it. I'm not a real human. I just play one on Earth. We'll just see if we've got any. No, there's been no interactions on Facebook. It could be that this thing has gone static. I'll log back in again and see if there's a. What's happening? Any comments? Whoops, audio coming through. No, no questions there. We're still questions in the chat on YouTube. I haven't seen any coming through on Twitch, but I think there's probably only one person watching on Twitch. The BuzzFeed of crafting. Advice on beginning to make videos or building a community. There's a significant amount of blood, sweat, and tears that is not seen on this. You speak to any one of the four of us privately, and we'll tell you what it takes to make a YouTube channel, especially when it's, gets to the size, of Scotty's channel and things like that. I mean, Scotty is a hardworking individual who puts out regular content all the time. He has a day job. He puts his life and soul into this. Jeremy puts his life and soul into this. Warlock puts his life and soul into this. I put my cat into this, if you're going to start a YouTube video or a community, there are 3 or 4 key things. One is quality of content. Now, quality of content does not necessarily mean being the best camera work. It does not necessarily mean being the best crafter in the world. Quality content is quality of ideas and quality of presentation. So the presentation of the ideas is very, very important. The second thing is consistency, and putting out regular, good content that people can enjoy. And the third is monetization, which a lot of people will think, ooh, the devil in the monetization. But if our channels didn't generate some form of income to pay for things like, the $14 a month it costs for streaming, and different things, or the bandwidth required to broadcast live, or the cameras that are required, or the audio equipment that's required, or the computer that's required, etc., etc. That's where the monetization is very important. So someone has joined us. Who has joined us? Greetings, sir. Can you hear me? They may not be able to hear me. If you're listening to the stream, can you hear me? Let me just, can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you. Who am I speaking to? Alex, hi, how are you? A little, you coming across crackly. Am I coming across crackly to you? Yeah. Sorry, there may be some kind of delay that's happening, so you may hear questions later than they are. But if the audio is coming through, who would we know you as on Facebook or YouTube, or where do you hail from, etc.? Crispy bacon, yes, I know crispy bacon. So, what sort of stuff have you been working on?
I don't get to craft much, so I'm just living precariously through you all.
Okay. So, it's just it's an issue of not enough time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the critical components to this whole thing is finding the time to do all this stuff, because we are all busy people, and there's stuff you wish you could do it full time, but unfortunately you can't. Sorry, I don't think the chat could hear you originally, so I've just tried to switch your audio back on. But yeah, it sounds like it's coming through now. So, what drew you to the craft?
I originally started watching the miniature matchup, and from miniature matchup, he had a thing where he was doing a purple worm. And from there, of course, it went to Scotty's channel for doing the worm. And from Scotty's channel, well, I found everybody.
Scotty, the gateway drug. Yes, Scotty has a significant amount of videos. I think he's up around more than 500, 600 videos now. So there's a lot of catching up the rest of us have to do. So, have you actually done any crafting that you've been able to try anything from the channels, or what's?
Oh no, I haven't had a chance to do anything yet. Okay.
So yeah, so it's more of a pastime in viewing than it is in actual crafting.
No, I'm getting a lot of ideas and want to be able to do a lot of different things and getting. Oh yes, living precariously through you all.
Yeah, I think there's a delay between you and me for some reason, so that might come across. I might come across a little bit delayed to you. So yeah, if it sounds like I'm interrupting you, that's why. Yeah, Lord Morbius, DM Scotty is the crafting cartel lord. Yeah, Spunk my senior, the Under the Tavern videos were my downfall. Yeah, Under the Tavern's been doing quite well. I just released level 1 on Facebook, and that's had the reach has gone through the roof, and I think it's had 4,000 or 5,000 views. So that's doing okay. Yeah, it's been a wild ride creating this stuff for YouTube. My channel was originally created almost as a bet. Someone bet me that I couldn't get 100 subscribers in a month, and I did in a week. So, You still there, Alex?
Yeah, I'm still here. There's so much delay that what I say and then what you say, it's all getting.
Okay. Someone else has joined
There's
us.
somebody else. Yeah, somebody else is coming on.
How's it going? Waiting for the headphones. There's more people. It's flooding now.
Hello.
Hey, who's just joined us?
Hi, it's me. You guys from Brazil.
Ah, how are you? Thank you is obrigado. Is that correct?
yeah.
You see, I do know some Portuguese.
Nice.
So
I just want to say thank you, guys. You did a wonderful job in getting us. I can't express myself with. I just want to thank you.
well,
Seriously.
thank you for watching me. You know, it means a lot when people like yourself come forward and say thank you for what I do. It actually makes me want to do it more. It's a wonderful feeling, and it's a large part of why I do what I do. And as I said, I was amazed that there were so many people in Brazil that watch my channel, considering that it's not obviously English as a first language there.
It's kind of hard to understand some things and the terms and the specific things, but in most cases we can do that. We can handle.
I'm actually subscribed to a couple of not Portuguese, but Brazilian crafting channels. There were a few. Some of them, they don't do it anymore, but and obviously I couldn't follow it because I don't speak Portuguese. But it's very interesting. I like to subscribe to channels from other countries as well to see what other people are doing. And obviously the only problem really is then the language that, but you can at least see what people are doing, which is great. That's what I enjoy.
Yep.
And
Hey, one more.
Who else has joined us? We've got Alex.
My name's Gene.
Hey, Gene, how are you?
I'm doing good. I actually just got back from I'm the guy that's in the DM's Craft that's opening the game store here in Texas.
Oh, yes. You just posted. Is that right?
Yes. We actually just got doing a little Friday Night Magic. Tomorrow we're doing a Yu-Gi-Oh run, and then
cool.
all week I'm doing some role-playing and crafting.
And whereabouts is that exactly?
I'm in Paris, Texas, of all places.
Paris, Texas. I knew there was a Paris outside of France.
There are actually several. I'm just stuck in the Texas one.
So, is it going to be role-playing games, war games, card games? What sort of stuff is going to be?
Yes, it's going to be all of those. I've actually got some TVs and some consoles. I'm going to be doing video game tournaments as well.
Oh, cool. That's fantastic. And is it already set up? Have you got an address, or is it all still in the planning stages?
We're still working on it, but the demand for tournaments and everything has been really high.
Yeah.
So people are wanting to come in and do tournaments. So we're setting the Yu-Gi-Oh tournament for tomorrow, and that'll be at noon.
Well, keep us informed.
And then we got a nice role-playing group there as well.
Keep us informed, because there are a lot of crafters in Texas. So, if there's a place that we can send people to meet and greet and things like that, we need places like that. So, a game store is obviously a perfect venue.
And honestly, like this is going to sound like far-fetched, but we were hinting it around. Like, I'd been watching Miniature Mash. I've been watching everybody's channels for as far back as I can remember. And I just looked over at my wife. I was like, I want to run a craft and game store. And she's like, well, go find a building. And we found a building. Like, it literally just fell in my lap. And it's like, it's doable. And she made it real doable. And she was like, okay, I get paid on this day, but I got paid early. So it's yours. Go get it.
Excellent.
So, we started moving in and started doing all that kind of stuff, and it's just coming together really quick.
Well, the gamers of Paris, Texas, thank your wife for that.
Hold on. There she is.
Hi.
she actually stopped spending time with me because I was watching too much of the crafting videos, and she's like, "I'm gonna have to get involved with this now." And I was like, "Okay, come watch."
Yeah.
And like she was closet watching Scotty when I wasn't around. I was like, "What are you doing?" Nothing.
Crafting.
So he
porn.
really is the gateway. Craft porn.
Closet watching Scotty, closet watching Miniature Mashup, closet watching Tamasar Gamza.
Yeah, like when she brought up Gamza, I was like, "Whoa, you're going deep there."
Yeah, jeez, now you're really gone down the rabbit hole. No, I like Tamasar Gamza. A couple of his recent rant videos have been quite hilarious.
Yes, like they're informative, and then they just go hilarious. So I stopped even recognizing the fact that there's some information that's probably pretty good.
Buried deep in
And
there
it's like,
somewhere.
it's like knowledge, diarrhea, knowledge, diarrhea.
Yeah. So
But it's all well. It's all good.
Lord Morbius in the chat says, hats off for crafting your own gaming store.
I'm going to have a lot of cardboard stuff in there, We actually thought about doing the walls in dungeon tile style.
Yep.
And I was like, that's going to take forever. So, we're going to hang up posters for now until I get it all crafted.
Well, I mean, because you said it was going to be both a craft store and a game store, is that right? So you're going to have like paints and things?
Oh, yes. Actually, the Hobby Lobby here is like privately owned.
Yeah. Which
I didn't know. And they're willing to like send me craft supplies. That way I can sell them. And that was really interesting.
Yeah.
And I've had a lot of third-party vendors just out of nowhere send me messages. Hey, do you want some consignment deals?
Yep.
The community has just been really accepting in this town. Like I know a lot more gamers than the demand had here.
Yeah.
Because we had a Hastings. That was all we had. And next thing you know, I had mentioned that I was going to do a game store in town, and it just started flooding in.
Yeah, you don't know how many people there are until you put the word out slightly, and then all of a sudden the wave hits you.
I gave them a taste. Now they want the whole buffet.
That's right. I mean, someone was saying the other day, I think it was Lee, who's Juice from, he just changed his channel name. It used to be Tabletop Gaming with Juice. But sorry, Lee, I've forgotten the name of his channel now. But he and his wife were married for a period of time before they both realized they liked to play D&D.
Oh, wow.
It's like, it took like a couple of years to figure out that they actually both have played before and enjoy it.
How I actually met my wife was I was running a custom game, and my buddies knew her, and they were like, you know what, we're going to invite her over to play. But she had just stabbed her finger coring an apple.
I did not stab it. I filleted it.
Okay, she filleted it. She wants me to make it clear.
Because there is a difference.
Yeah, there's a big difference there, apparently.
There is.
And, like,
to me,
she got into
blood
it.
spurting out. It doesn't matter what the cut was.
And, like, I was running the session, and next thing I know, she was messaging me, hey, when's the next game? I was like, we just had one.
And?
It was the same night. She was like, and? When's the next one? So we actually started playing more heavy. Then we moved here to Paris, and I moved another buddy in, and we started finding those small little people that were wanting to game. Then there was a guy here that made custom games, and I was like, well, hey, I do the same thing. He moved to greener pastures, and I've stayed here and been trying to deal with the community as it is, because I've got this many card players, this many war gamers, this many role players. And I was like, you know what? I can't fit all these people in my house with 2 crazy dogs and a whole bunch of people. I got to have a store or some kind of gaming club. And now that all that's come together, there's one of the crazy dogs.
The little ones are always the crazy ones.
Yeah, all like half tremble, half fear.
Half tremble, half fear.
And they go straight for the throat.
She would go for the throat if she could jump that high, because usually when she jumps from her lap, she falls on her face. It's a very beautiful trait. She fails her agility every time.
So so you've got the building already in Paris, Texas. Is there a street address we can give people so they know where they'll be able to go yet? Or
Yes, it's 1200 Northwest Bonham Street, right?
Yes.
Yes, 1200 Northwest Bonham Street in Paris, Texas.
Okay, so you heard it here. You probably saw it on Facebook earlier.
And we have a name for the store. It's Tower of Power Gaming.
Cool. Tower of Power. Excellent.
Yes.
Tower of Power Gaming. So
And the main reason, it has a dual reason. One, my brother used to run a Magic the Gathering deck called the Tower of Power that most people couldn't beat.
yeah,
So it was kind of a tribute to him. We also have an Eiffel Tower in town that has a cowboy hat on. So I figured, I could use the name kind of as a play on it. We live in Paris, and people would think that, so it'd draw them in, but it's really inspiration for my brother.
cool. Yeah, and where is Paris by comparison to like Austin and places like that?
We're about 2 hours from Dallas.
From Dallas, okay. So even if people are in the major centers, they'd be able to get to you as well if there was, meetups and things like that. It wouldn't be a huge stretch to get there. In other words.
No.
Yeah.
We're also actually about an hour and a half from the Oklahoma line.
Okay. I don't know the area terribly well, but I'm pretty sure people who are watching will know.
Right. Apparently, we are 20 minutes from Oklahoma, not an hour and a half. You can tell how often I go there.
It's just traffic.
Traffic and a lot of trees.
Yeah.
And
no, I mean it takes me an hour and a half to get to work most days. One way.
Right.
So
there also has to be the will to get to work, the drive to get to work.
Greetings. Who are we talking to? Is that PJ again?
Yeah. Sorry, I got back.
Right.
He was talking about opening his store.
Yep.
And he was talking about his let's see, let me turn this around. There we go. This would be a really quick, simple way for you to get your walls done. And all this is half-inch insulation foam, the same thing they make all their tiles out of.
Oh, okay.
And all I did was take a heat gun and actually just follow whatever tile pattern you want, whatever stone pattern you want, and just take the heat gun and it melts the foam.
That's
and you just paint it with your regular scheme.
I will not lie. I probably will steal this.
That's okay.
And then you just put tons of PVA over it and throw sand at the wall.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely cover it, because if you don't cover it, it'll chip kind of easy.
In fact, here's a wild idea. You invite a whole bunch of people from the crafting community to come and help you make all the walls and the dungeon stuff. And
there you go.
Get the carpenters involved in making the tables.
I would literally I'd flip if Scotty said he would do it. Like, I've wanted to do a GoFundMe to have Scotty come to the store and do a crafting day, because there's a lot of people in town I've turned the entire community onto.
Yep.
And they're like,
right,
Scotty seems like he'd be a cool guy.
I was like,
cool well, wait till you start watching the other people. And they were like, this is amazing. Where did you find this? I was like, look, I'm broke and I need terrain and I need help with miniatures.
That's right.
And they were like, okay, well, we're broke and we need help with this. And it all paid out really well.
I mean, Wylock did that video where he visited Scotty's house, and they're like, oh my God, that's like, a Catholic going to the Vatican. It's like, I want to go there. I don't care what it costs.
Yeah, that made me kind of envious with people with basements. I was like, oh, how awesome would that be to have an entire floor dedicated to crafting? Like, that's amazing.
Right, like that.
Yeah, in Australia, they don't do basements. We do attics, but not basements.
Yeah, us either, just because the water level's so low.
So, yeah, it's a fancy... Sorry, what is your name again?
Mine? Gene.
Yeah, Gene, that's right. Sorry. I'm terrible with names. So I'm just writing it down so we're able to send more stuff to you, Gene. But obviously, you've been posting in the Facebook group, and I encourage you to continue to do that.
Most definitely.
I've also been places for people to go. It's
people would want me to do the video tutorials of what I do, because I do it insanely cheap.
Yeah.
Like, if I can find it in a dumpster, it's going into the craft. And I've had a little bit of a demand here, so I might be doing that, and I might start posting it to the group as well.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to get off my phone and switch over to the PC. My phone's about to die.
All right, see ya. The demon
Actually,
Jester
I
Jay's
think
around.
a little bit easier on my phone. All right, I'll be back in just a second.
All right, see ya. Welcome back, Alan. How are you? Can you hear me again? Can you hear me? No?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, everything was double feeding. Oh, now it is doing it again. It's double feeding after about
if you've
20
got the
seconds,
stream
15
on.
seconds.
If you've got the stream on, you might be hearing the stream. So you want to mute the stream. So YouTube, if you're on YouTube, then go and mute YouTube so that you don't get the feedback from YouTube. Well, thank you everyone who has been joining us. Of course, if there are any other questions in the chat, Quasi's bell tower. Quasi, you got to join us, mate. You know, you sent me all those wonderful toothpick things, but I've got a big plan for those. But you know, Quasi's bell tower. If you're looking for a great little channel to throw your weight behind, Quasi's bell tower is a fantastic little channel. But join us, mate. Join us on the video stream. Of course, if anybody else has any questions or anything, happy to answer. Just looking on Facebook to see if there's any people asking any questions. Do you have any questions, Alan?
Alex?
Sorry, Alex, yeah? Do you have any questions?
Yeah, there you go. No, I just enjoy watching you Craft and Scotty and Wylock and a bunch of other ones. Like I said, I used to watch a lot of the miniature mashup. I started watching him, and it's unfortunate he's working so hard he doesn't put out videos anymore. But he was hilarious. I mean, the guy is funny.
He worked as a comedian for a while, as I understand it. He's doing trucking like you now.
Yeah.
So it would be fabulous if he was doing more videos, but obviously, you know, unfortunately, life and needing to make an income and that sort of thing doesn't take precedence.
Yeah, here's the sleeper area of the truck. Yeah, that's where I'm at, stuck.
All right.
You know, sucks, but pays the bills.
So you're on the road right now.
Oh yeah. I'm sitting. I'm sitting. My laptop is sitting on the steering wheel.
Oh, fantastic!
You go.
Whereabouts are you driving through now?
Right now we're just sitting. We don't pick up until Monday. We got over here and got to have Thanksgiving with my wife's relatives.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm actually sitting in a Knights of Columbus parking lot, which is right next to their house, and so that's where we're sitting for today, and see some people tomorrow, and then we'll move off and get close to my pickup, which is
Knights of Columbus. Is that like themed restaurant with the jousting? Is that
no? It's a organization. They put on. They have a hall that you can rent out to do different things, and they do different things. You know, help organizations out and do fundraisers and stuff like that. They're kind of a religious. Knights of Columbus is kind of a religious thing, and you know, kind of like a Moose Club or a Odd Fellows or something like that. Masons.
Okay, yeah,
that kind of deal.
So what are you driving? Is it one of the big like 18-wheeler type things, or
it's no, it's a straight truck. It's big like that. It's the same front. It just has a box instead of having a trailer.
Oh, okay, cool.
So it's you know, one piece. Let's say that, you know, 22-foot box on it.
It's a hell of a job what you do. It's
the job's fun. I mean, we get to haul a lot of different stuff. We've hauled everything from a couple pallets of freeze-dried food that was going to go up to the space station. We've hauled batteries for that came from France for satellites. And I was like, well, we can't make satellite batteries in the United States. And they said, well, this stuff is so damn toxic to make, we cannot legally make it here in the United States. And I was thinking about it. You know, if you're going to have an accident, it's better to have it in France. So, you know, I mean,
don't tell the French.
No, don't tell the French. Nobody missed them, but they know it. They know. Come on, they know. The English have been telling them for years. Jeez.
And you saved them in the Second World War.
Oh no! I've said that before, and people, no, America. Well, you know, there was a group effort. There was that one guy that was funny as hell. He wore a kilt and had a bagpipe and did all kinds of things in World War II. And I think it's the same guy that was the last man to kill somebody in combat with a longbow.
Yeah.
He shot a German in Dunkirk when they were leaving.
Yeah.
And he said, damn the Yanks, you know, if they hadn't joined the war, it could have went on for another 10 years. So he was upset about that.
Yeah.
That, you know, but yeah, old news. Come on now.
It is. That's a good half a century or more.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, no, it goes. I'm wanting to get into the reason I really like getting into crafting is I plan on doing some stop motion with like the toy soldiers.
Yeah, I love doing
some people do some really, really good ones, and I have a plan on doing one with, you know, reoccurring characters and got a whole bunch of different things. And but that's one reason I kind of like the crafting, because, well, I want to craft all my own. You pretty much have to. And
there's a little channel called Dream Syndicate, which is by Ryan Friant from Nerdarchy. He's just started that channel, and he is making little armature puppets and things. So you can have a look at that, because you might get a few ideas and things for manipulation and armatures.
Oh, what was that called?
Dream Syndicate.
Dream Syndicate. Okay,
I'm pretty sure that's what it's called.
Because,
yeah.
Well, I'm planning on doing just like, I don't know if you've ever watched, there's a lot of them that do army men stop motion with just a little plastic army men.
Yeah.
And some of them have gotten really creative with what they do. And I like that aspect. There's a guy out of Canada, I think Ontario or Quebec, and he's done it, but he didn't have any audio. He just did it with dubbing in, you know, subtitles coming up. And he did it. He did it really interesting, but I kind of want to marry them both and have the video and audio and everything going. But I don't want to get into the bigger puppets. I want to do it. It's all going to be about 28mm scale, I think, is the scale I'm going to look for.
There's a Japanese channel that this guy puts out regular videos, and it's all car chases with little cars, and he builds all the scenery and everything, and it's so well done.
Yeah.
It's all like railway terrain, like people, but he has like matchbox cars.
Yeah, like HO scale.
Yeah, and it's really
187.
well done. And it's
there's so many. Once you start watching one, you get turned on to another one and another one. The other day I was watching, you know, doing the terrain stuff.
Yeah.
And it pops up. It has a guy that redoes Hot Wheels.
Yep.
And I started watching him, and next thing I know, I watched 10 of his videos, and then I got turned on to a guy that does customization, because the first guy kept them pretty much how they were when we played with them when we were a kid.
Yeah.
And the second guy, he customizes them. And now you'd think you couldn't customize a Hot Wheel; it's so small. But he does wild stuff.
Yeah.
That turned me on to another one where a guy had the lights all working. I mean, the headlights, the turn signals, the fog lights. He even had an interior light in a matchbox, believe it or not. An interior light. And they all work by pushing on the back glass and the doors. And it was just like, it's just amazing the stuff people come up with. It's like, wow.
Yeah, sometimes you just can't go near the internet, because you'll just go down a rabbit hole. You'll never come out.
Oh, I'm telling you, yeah. You know, pretty soon, you know, they'll be changing your diapers. You'll be sitting in some asylum, and as long as your feed doesn't run out, you know, he's calm until you take the computer away. Yeah, then you have to give him Thorazine and stuff.
It may be heading that way, but you know, it's good content.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of them. Engineer Jeff, he does a lot of live feeds where he's supposed to be painting and stuff and talking, and a lot of times it just turns into talking. But he likes, it's cathartic for him. It's better than paying a shrink you know,
Yeah.
$150 an hour. And, you know, and a lot of people are like that. They like to get on and do it. I've been finding a lot of really very good crafters. As a matter of fact, one out in your neck of the woods, out in I think it's Brisbane.
Yeah, Brisbane. Yeah.
And he's made a cathedral out of foam. He's made a castle and then a keep, and I mean, just incredible stuff. You know, and it's wild what people come up with. It's just amazing.
Yeah, that's the fascinating thing. So when you sort of live in a little bubble and you don't, I mean, when I saw Scotty's videos, I was like, wow, this is what I want to do. You know, and there wasn't really much of that kind of thing on YouTube at the time. So we're going back like 5 years now. But I think it's also people at that point hadn't really thought of actually putting that kind of stuff out there, because they would think, who would watch this? I mean, that was Scotty's initial thing. It's like, yeah, there might be 5 or 6 people that'll watch, not 40-something thousand.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, you know, and he should have an even larger viewing group to me. And like a lot of people, even today, 5 years later, will say, "Oh, I didn't know it was there."
Yeah.
You know, and now I do. And then Scotty turns people on to so much. There's another guy I watch. He's Redbeard Baron.
Yes.
He comes up with some awesome things. There's Luke Towan, and he does more of the train modeling. But I mean, he does some excellent stuff. It's just there's so many of them out there, and it's like you get ideas from everybody.
Well, that's the whole idea behind, you know, the Tabletop Crafters Guild, is that, you know, it is all about ideas and sharing ideas, and that's, you know, really what we want is to expand and expose this to a lot more people, because you know, it's something that, you know, people kind of live in a bubble and they don't realize that the stuff they enjoy exists, and there's tons of other people who enjoy doing it as well.
Exactly. It's kind of like buying an old car. And once you buy that old car, like a 70 Monte Carlo, the next thing you know, you're noticing 70 Monte Carlos, you know, that you never would have noticed before, you know. And, you know, you guys are right on it, you know, especially with this team up thing with you and Wylock and Scotty, and I can never remember the other guy.
Black Magic Craft.
Does it? Yeah, Black Magic Craft.
Yeah, his name's Jeremy.
You know, yes, you guys, but there's other ones out there that are like the same caliber, and I mean it's amazing. You know, like I said, I looked up doing coconut trees of all things, and Terrain Tutor had some. You know, everybody had some, and I even found some lady that does it with crepe paper, and her trees came out looking pretty damn fantastic with just regular brown and green crepe paper. You know, it was wild. Yeah,
Quasi's joining us, because it's not just about it's not just about, you know, showing people how to do things. It's also about giving people ideas, because I might not make what Scotty makes, but I'll go, ooh, that's a great idea, and I can use that for something else. And that's what it's about. Quasi, how are you, mate?
Okay, I don't know if my mic's working at all.
It is. I can hear
yes.
Okay.
So for the masses, tell us who you are and what you do. I mean, I know.
Well, I'm Quasi's from Quasi's Bell Tower, and I craft terrain just like the rest of you.
And very well, I might add.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to you can't really see your name in the thing, so I'm just going to shrink the window down a little bit so people can actually see how it's spelt. There we go.
Okay.
So, what's on the cards for you? What's coming up on your channel? What are popular things that people should see on your channel?
Well, right now I don't have much going on. I was actually in the middle of recording for my other channel. It's a beer review channel, and I've been working on that. We just finished season 2, so hopefully in the next couple weeks, I'll be crafting again. But right now I'm kind of in a little stand. You know, I'm kind of stopped right now.
A holding pattern.
Yes.
So what's the beer one? Because I'm sure Alex looked like he wanted to know what the beer channel was.
It is called Point Rock Review.
Point Rock Review. There you go.
Yes.
And is it just craft? Is it craft beers that you do, or?
We review all types of different beers.
So I'm a teetotaler. I've never actually drank beer in my life, so I have no idea what.
Oh, you poor thing! You're an Aussie and you don't drink beer. What planet did you drop to Australia from? Come on, man.
I got farted out of some strange world.
Now, Quasi Bell Tower, is that the name of your crafting channel?
Yes, it is.
Okay, I got that written down, so I've got to write it down because I'll never remember it. So
that's why I shrunk the screen so that people can see how it's spelled.
But the sad thing is, I've got so many crafters I watch now, they get lost in my list. And I've got to go way down my list. And then it's like, man, I haven't watched them in. But then again, they got a lot of more interesting stuff after a couple months of not watching them.
That's right.
So it's always good. It's always good. But why people forget to like the videos? If it's one of y'all's videos, I like it before I even start watching it. That way I don't, because a lot of times I'll have to hit that back button. Oh, I forgot to like it. Damn it. I'll be going back and it's got 8,000 views and 300 people liked it. Come on now. Now, I know some of them probably go back and watch it 3 or 4 times, but still, come on.
Yeah, it's a simple click that makes a big difference. Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes it's very difficult for people to click that like button.
Yeah, I think they just forget it and then they get interested in the next one that's coming up. Because let's face it, that's what that's how you spend 3 or 4 hours, and they're like, wow, it's 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's for us as creators as well, it's our way of determining whether we're doing the right thing. If obviously our videos, you'll get 1, 2, maybe 5 dislikes on a video, and like, yeah, all right, some people don't like it. But when you get like 100 dislikes, and it's like, okay, there's a significant portion of the audience that doesn't like this. But then you look at the likes, and the likes are, you might have 800 likes to 100 dislikes. So it's it's not like, oh my god, I should never do this again. But just remember that you may need to modify it because there's a significant negative reaction to it. But you're never going to win.
My thing is, if they're going to dislike it, at least have the decency to put up why you dislike something.
Yeah.
Who was hitting dislikes and not saying, well, I didn't like it because it seemed like you went a little too far and you went a little too long or something, But just to hit a dislike button and not say why you dislike something is kind of, yeah. But then again, this is the internet.
Yeah, if I basically ignore it if it doesn't come with a constructive criticism. Yeah. It's like, if you dislike it, then you don't like it. So what?
That's usually the trolls that are disliking you.
We have the dislike fairy on all of our channels. It comes in before it's like, basically the video uploads and boom, dislike. It's like, it's like sometimes we used to have a pool to see exactly when the dislike fairy would strike. Would it be 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
There was somebody, I forget who he was, but he had a channel and he was going around to everybody who had a like channel of his, and he had several different accounts that he would get on and dislike, and he got caught doing it, and the sad thing is he has so many more viewers than everybody else.
I don't want to mention his name, and basically
you probably know who it is.
I know exactly who it is. I don't want to give him any kind of advertising. I know who he is. He knows what he did, and I will just leave it at that.
There you go. You know who I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. And honestly, I don't see how he has more viewers than other people, because his stuff was never as interesting as other people's stuff. So who knows? But then again,
it's something I would actually rather not talk about. But it's just. People will choose what they want to watch, and that's fine. I mean, that's up to the viewing public, but I'm not going to watch it. That's for sure.
Yep.
So Quasi, your craft brew channel, So reviews, you got. So I've seen a couple, but how many? You said you finished season 1?
Yes, we just finished recording season 2, and season 1's almost done. Not too many likes, not too many subscribers, but sometimes it's hard to get the subs that you want and the views you want.
Yeah, it's initially it's it's all about getting the word out there and doing things like this and sharing and and so on and so forth. I run several channels and I work on a lot of other channels as well, so this is not my only channel. So obviously I have 70 System, which some people will know about. Then there's my new Drawing Worlds, which is my illustration channel, which has 38 subscribers, I think. And that's where I'm doing all the art for 70 System and the drawing that you saw for the Tabletop Crafters Guild banner and things like that.
Yep.
So, slowly that will build, but obviously not everyone who watches my channel for this is going to want to watch all the other things. So, that's why I kind of separated out, and I realize obviously, if I'm doing this thing, it's not going to be, it's not going to be as appealing to the people who watch this channel for this reason. But what I would say is, if you should probably speak to Hankrin over on Runehammer. If anyone's going to put his weight behind a craft brew channel, it would be Hankrin.
Yes, I was thinking the same thing. Yep, you want to get it out on beer. Definitely. Did you see his video on his drinking games?
Yeah,
on the tower. Oh my God, those guys. Oh, they're hilarious.
I've been on his live streams that don't get archived. No, man, some of that is hilarious stuff. But yeah, I as a person who doesn't drink, I don't know what it's like to be, that far gone in the drinking session. So I've no like comparable experience. So to me, it's like at some point it just gets okay. I'm gonna switch off now. But I mean, obviously his channel, I love his channel. His channel is one of my favorite channels, and
he has a great imagination. I mean, the stuff he comes up with is just unreal.
Well, I mean, having actually DM'd the guy, that's a fascinating experience in itself, because you never know what he's going to do. You have absolutely no idea. I mean, normally when you think players are going to derail what you're doing, he's a force to be reckoned with when it comes to derailing.
For me to be so interested in the crafting and the DM part of it and all that, I have never played a D&D or any kind of game like that ever, not one. But it totally fascinates me. I like the crafting aspect more, but the more I see people talking about DMing and people like Runehammer and DM Scotty and you and I used to call you DM Ginfo. I didn't say DMG. It didn't strike me. I thought it was like DM Scotty. It was DM Ginfo. I thought your name Ginfo. Why his name? Maybe it's his last name. Maybe it's a nickname. I don't know. DM Ginfo, but it was never DMG. And then somebody said DMG, and I'm like, oh, I'm such an idiot. But
yeah, I didn't struggle for very long with the name. I was just like, well, I'm DM and my first name is Gareth, so we'll just have the G, and it looks like damage, and it looks like Dungeons Master's Guide, and I'll probably get sued by someone, but hey, what the hell. And then info comes from the cheapest domain I could register was like $1, and that was the .ino.
That's where the name comes from. Okay.
So I thought because I started the channel somewhat on a bet, so I didn't plow a lot of thought and ingenuity into it, and but it's a name, and when people know the name, that's the name. I mean, look at Facebook. I mean, that doesn't mean anything other than it's some weird book that they put out at the university that he started it at. But it's a name that sticks, so that's the name that it is.
Well, I might never call you Gareth. I might just call you Ginfo, but
yeah,
that's where it's coming from. Ginfo.
Most
that's people, Ginfo.
My mother doesn't even call me Gareth. She calls me Gary half the time because that's what my uncle's name. And she keeps making a mistake. Gareth, Gary, what are you doing?
Well, my mother has 5 kids, and when she yells at me, a lot of times she'll go through the whole friggin' list.
That's right.
Even my sisters. Nancy, Gail, Connie, Ricky, whatever your name is.
Yeah, it always ends in whatever your name is. And I mean, the dog and the cat will feature before.
Yep. There you go. Hey.
Demon Jester J, how are you? Can you hear us?
I'm good, thanks. I'm like totally shut down for some reason. I have no clue. Lost power in the whole house.
All right.
Oh.
Lord Morbius says his mom calls him Doofus. It's that damn Doofus child of mine.
Doofus child.
I got good news, guys.
What's going on?
Some nice people through Facebook and on YouTube sent me stuff in the mail. I mean, awesome stuff. To me, like I lost everything in a fire. When I interviewed DMD for my show when I was living in Florida before I moved back to Pennsylvania, I lost everything in a fire. I lost everything, all my models, my equipment, and everything. And I was slowly bringing my hobby back to par. And I was just playing some, like, writing notebook games with people. And I wanted to get back in the groove of the hobby. So I had this idea of interviewing people that were making YouTube videos. And I reached out to DMD Info. I reached out to Scotty, and they said, yeah, they'll go on my show. And they did one of my video shows. So it was kind of awesome. Well, in the process, someone sent me 2 Badger airbrushes in the mail. I don't know who. They just asked me for me. I was on Facebook group, and the guy goes, I'm part of the airbrush community on Badger's website, and somebody in the community says, we heard about your fire. Do you want me to, I want to send you something. And I'm like, sure. I gave him my address, and 2 Badger airbrushes come in my mail. Now I don't have a compressor. So I'm like, great. I don't have the money to get a compressor yet. My internet service provider decides to mess up so much that I complained to them enough. They sent me a $200 Amazon gift card in the mail.
Compressor time.
So I buy myself. So I got myself my compressor. My wife, knowing that I collect weird stuff, decides to get me this as a gift.
Is that a rat?
It's a skeleton rat.
Nice.
And look, he's gonna be my new partner.
I don't think the ears skeletonized. And he's got ears.
Demon Jester J is classic for weird stuff happening.
Oh yeah, you know my shows. But my first interview was with a board game company called Mini Wargaming, and he comes out of nowhere with the sword during my interview, and just points at the screen. So weird stuff has happened through my shows. Bad internet. I had like when I was in Florida, I had the greatest internet. Here in the Poconos, oh my gosh, I have DSL internet, and they're the only people. And they're the only people that have internet here. So I can't go to anybody else until next year. So I'm waiting for my kid gets out of this, graduates the 8th grade, and goes into high school. We're getting the heck out of Dodge.
We're going somewhere with their crafting supplies.
Someone also sent me. No, someone also sent me a set of. I wrote it down, but.
Well, while you're looking, so
someone knows
the thing about this community is that people do share behind the scenes. There's a lot of people who go, oh, I don't have this, don't have that, and people will share. I've got a spare this or a spare that, or Quasi had a whole bunch of those little toothpick arrow things that he shared with a lot of us. That's one of the great things about this community is that there is a lot of sharing that happens. I don't know if everyone's aware of the fact that it happens, but it actually does happen in quite a lot. So everyone who does share in the community, thank you very much for doing so, because it does help people out, especially people who live in areas where they don't have the same stores or they can't get the same products. You know, it's wonderful that, you know, there is actually somewhat of a support mechanism for that.
That was the compressor.
Sweet.
It's a 5-liter tank compressor. I got it for $107. Normally it goes for $300 on Amazon.
Well,
And
Amazon.
it was not no Black Friday deal either.
Amazon opened in Australia yesterday, so things are about to get serious now.
There you go.
No more are we going to be gouged in high prices from all the normal stores. Now we're going to get it from Amazon too.
Yeah, but hey, you can get some pink extruded foam instead of using those pizza boxes.
You know, it's those pizza
buy
boxes.
that stuff.
Those pizza boxes were fantastic. I think I got 100 pizza boxes for $20-something. I think it was, plus shipping. And you know,
the other one's in my garage, so I can't get it.
That's becoming a cornerstone of my wargaming stuff. I don't even have any wargaming players, but you know, now I'm making wargaming terrain with pizza boxes.
The pizza boxes.
Someone sent me this. I didn't even buy this. Someone sent me this in the mail through Amazon.
Nice.
Sweet.
I had to look for the price. It's like $90, something like that.
Is that for Lego?
It has one paintbrush and all the paints. But I have all the paintbrushes because someone sent me, because they know my wife likes me doing her nails. They sent somebody from my church sent me in the mail all these like professional nail art paintbrushes, down to the little fine super detail one that looks like almost like a needle. I was like, what the heck? It's like Christmas early.
Well, that's all it's all about. You know, that's the great thing is, you know, people at heart are kind and generous, and you know, there's a lot more people that are kind and generous in the world than there are dickwads. You know, it's unfortunate that dickwads are the ones who get into power and are more vocal than everybody else. But the rest of us are pretty stand-up people.
I know on your Facebook page I had to advertise this about this coming back out, but I just got a case of this in the mail. The original first energy drink on the market, Jolt Cola. It's the original flavor. It's the original flavor.
Wasn't that stuff banned? You know, we've heard about bannings and things on this side of the pond.
Oh, it was banned. It was banned in England, Australia, and Canada.
Yeah, well, we ban things for a reason.
But the flavor,
because it's bad for you.
No. The original advertisement was during a Super
battery
Bowl. I
acid.
don't know what Super Bowl it was, but it was during the era of the Diet Cola age. Diet sodas are coming out like crazy. This company comes out, has a big giant lightning bolt, the yellow lightning bolt logo. That logo comes shooting through the screen. You can still see the people in the background on the thing. Comes out, big lightning bolt. F. It had F star K diet. Drink Jolt, twice the caffeine of Mountain Dew.
Twice the caffeine, 5 times the calories. All right, yeah.
Which is equivalent to 93 cups of coffee.
No, when I was in college, when I was in college, to stay up, I would drink coffee like crazy, and even take the energy pills, like those energy pills back in the day, the yellow jacket.
Those are also banned here.
Well, in the process, I found this. I was buying this. Now, at the time, it was 50 cents a can, this size can. I would buy cases of it, drink about 2 or 3 cans a day, and I had enough energy to stay up for a while. Crash and burn from this stuff is so bad, it's not funny.
I must say, my wife and I, our honeymoon, we did a driving trip across America. We went.
I know. I saw.
We did it from Los Angeles all the way up to Yellowstone National Park. We then went to Mount Rushmore, and then all the way back over to San Francisco, and then all the way down the East Coast back to Los Angeles. So we did 4,000 miles in about 2.5-3 weeks. So we saw a lot of the heartland of America. But
no,
no, you didn't.
you missed 90% of America.
I know we missed 90% of America because it's so damn big.
Because you always had an invitement when I was still living in Florida. I thought you were going to go to Florida. You go, no, I'm going through Vegas. I'm like, great.
Yeah. No, we can't. We can't spend our honeymoon in other people's couches. That's not how it works.
Hey, don't knock it. I know.
Yeah, you just got to plan ahead and call.
Well, we didn't actually have a plan. We just we rented a car and we just drove. So we decided, oh, well, let's go to Mount Rushmore. That's only 500 miles away. That can't be that far.
You know something, DMFO? I'm going to tell you right now. The only good thing about you driving in the United States through that way.
You drive on the wrong side of the road. That's what I'll tell you.
No, actually, we drive on the right side of the road. You drive on the left side. Which is
that's everywhere else except for America. We're the ones that are backwards to them.
No. I don't know why, but trucks were hurtling towards me, hooting. I'm like, I'm on the correct side of the road, asshole.
Yeah, Japan's like that too. They drive on the left.
Yeah. I've been to Japan too. They're also crazy driving on the other side of the road.
Oh yes.
I just want to say this quick to Alex real quick. Alex, thank you for being a trucker. I know it's a hard job, and without you truckers in this world, delivering the goods to different states and doing all the work that you do, putting up with all the idiot drivers out there, is a hard job, and thank you for doing it.
Well, thank you, but as soon as I can get off of this truck and start crafting, somebody else can bring the toilet paper to you.
No, I'm just saying, I used to be a loader. When I was younger, my neighbor was a trucker, and I would be his unloader and loader for docks and all that. And I seen how much he went to hell because people cutting him off and all that. And he has this truck that he has to pay thousands on. If you have one missing light, you get fined up the wazoo. I mean, you guys go through hell. And people treat like dirt.
Yeah, four-wheelers are kind of funny, but it's something you deal with. Traffic never really bothers me. This job, I tell you what, it's nice because you don't have a boss right over you all the time. You basically 99% of your time is spent just you. I mean, I drive with my wife, so she's awesome. In the truck with me, and we have a ball.
I'm self-employed. I'm self-employed, and my boss is a complete dick.
Yeah, I've said that before. My boss is an ass.
At least you got a furry supervisor.
That's right. He's
how is the cat?
This is the reasonable facsimile because the other cat does not like being in the lights on the camera.
He looks just like him, has the notching ear and everything.
That's right.
And he got it from Japan.
Even the little the little mark on the paw is exactly the same spot. He's also got a birthmark on the paw.
Oh snap!
So
yeah, I got the trifecta animals in my house. I got a cockatiel bird, which he saw on my shoulder when I interviewed him. I got a dog now. His name is Scruffy. He's a Shih Tzu Chihuahua. And this is a true breed now. It's called a true shoe. I heard when I was watching the dog show, I thought I heard them say it's a true shit. I was like, what? It's called a true shoe. So I found out that he's a real breed, not just a mutt. And I have a cat named Oreo. And the reason why my daughter named her, and I thought the cat was all black until I saw the belly of the cat. It's just pure white. She's all black except for a white belly. I thought, and since I have a bird named Tweety, I'm like, oh, let's name her Sylvester. Right? My daughter said no, her name's Oreo. She's 14. I can't argue with a 14-year-old.
Just for the chat, is there anyone who has any questions? I mean, we're we're having almost like a private conversation that 40
Sorry,
people are
guys.
watching.
That all the time. Oh, I may be starting my show up again. I wanted to ask anybody who's in Quasi if you would like to be on it sometime too.
Yeah, we can set something up. I don't see why not.
That'd be awesome. Cool. And I like your craft. You gave me some great ideas.
What you have to understand about YouTubers is YouTubers love being on YouTube. So, you know, they're more than happy to do anything on YouTube. And it's like the more people we can get to our channels, the better.
Well, during the ad apocalypse, I had 1,000 subscribers at once. I was like, oh yes, I can get Patreon. Ad apocalypse, 300. What the hell? And half my videos about me quitting smoking, which I went back to it because I hurt my back. I ended up cracking my tailbone at my job. So now it's either smoking cigarettes or taking painkillers, and I don't want to take painkillers. I'd rather smoke a cigarette than take a painkiller.
Yeah, you should probably try and find something else.
Well, I tried using the vaping thing and all that. I tried to vape. I did quit for a year until I hurt myself. And I don't smoke as much as I used to because when I was interviewing you, I smoked almost a whole pack.
Yeah.
Now I smoke like 1 or 2 cigarettes
a day.
I make
people that nervous. It's like one of those FBI sort of, okay, where were you at 3:15 on August the 5th?
So, when are Gareth?
Yep.
You have any plans on coming to the States?
Like I was saying earlier in the show, I'd like to do a documentary where I travel across the States and meet all the other YouTubers and people in the community and that sort of thing. I'd like to do that as an actual documentary because, or segments of a documentary. So, you know, I'd look for some funding maybe through GoFundMe or Kickstarter or something like that. That's just to basically pay the bills. I'm sure there are people who would offer up a couch that it could stay on and my camera person. And, you know, travel across the States, put together, you know, as we're going, put it on YouTube and Facebook and all these kind of things. So that it puts faces to the names. You know, there's a lot of people in the community that people only know them as text in Facebook or comments on YouTube. They don't really know them as people, and I'd like to find out who these people actually are. And because I live on the other side of the world, you know, it's easy for Scotty and Wylock and those sort of people to get together and meet each other because it's, you know, you can drive. Whereas I live on a huge island in the middle of the Pacific. So, you know, so for me...
As soon as they get that bridge done, it'll be a lot better.
That's right.
You know, that bridge from L.A. to Sydney.
Yeah, Trump was talking about building a wall. He should be building a tunnel from here to America.
There you go.
Yeah, I have to say I pity you, Jim Info, because I've been watching a lot of Animal Planet about Australia. You have a very scary place to where you live.
Everything can kill you.
I'm very arachnophobic, okay? I could not be in a place that has spiders this freaking big. Just during the summertime, just going to your house like roaches.
They're not the ones several outside right now building a house. You don't want to disturb the poor thing.
It's the little ones that kill you, though. What do they call them? The browns? Are they called browns?
Redbacks.
Redbacks.
And then there's funnel webs that live in the ground, and there's
funnel webs. That's the ones. Yeah.
There's whenever there's New Year's, they have the huge fireworks display in Sydney Harbour. So you get thousands of people along every piece of grass that's near the harbour. There's people sitting there and having a picnic, and it's a huge, it's a huge event that basically half of the city gets together and has a big party at midnight. But because there's so many of these spiders in the middle of summer, there's always people being hospitalized because they put their picnic blanket down and these things come out and bite them. And they, these are deadly poisons.
Well, you got that. You got all the snakes. You got saltwater crocodiles. We got those little tiny jellyfish that are that big, and they'll kill you.
Well, there's little octopus. You get this octopus. The little octopus.
Yeah, the blue ring or whatever he's called, blue ring octopus. Yeah, all kinds of stuff.
This is why I don't go outside.
We have a tree in Australia that when water hits it, acid comes down and burns people.
We have things called drop bears.
Drop bears. Yep. I thought the koalas were nice till the damn thing bit me.
Have you seen the claws on those things?
Yeah.
That's not,
even a little.
that's
little,
not for holding onto
platypus
trees.
mammals have a spur.
Sting you so bad that you want to beg for death. I'm like, I'm watching this documentary on Australia. I'm like, why the hell do people live there? Holy shit!
Well, because they didn't have a choice at first. England
right.
took
It was
all the prisoners and threw them over there.
We were all prisoners. It's well, I wasn't a prisoner. I lived in South Africa. That's a different story. It's like I put myself in prison on my own reconnaissance.
That's another thing I say to our British cousins is you had all these colonies that are like just the most beautiful places on earth, and you still live on that dreary little island. What's wrong with you? Come on. Australia, for all the poisonous animals, Australia is beautiful. I mean, it's a paradise. You got to say.
There's so much space. I mean, we're almost the size of America with 1/10 of the population, and a lot more desert.
You've got 24 million. We've got 327 or something like that. Yeah. A lot more people. Yeah. But then again, you guys don't live in the middle part. You guys just live around the outside.
That's right.
Basically.
We're not stupid enough to go into the middle.
Well, most of you are. But
apparently there's a big red rock there, but I don't want to risk it. Those koalas are kind of vicious this time of year.
There was somebody that said had a thing up, stop selling Australia to foreigners.
Yeah.
And I said, that's it. I said, I'm gonna buy Ayers Rock, and I'm gonna enclose it, and I'm gonna make a ski lift out of it, ski lodge. And that didn't go over so well with them. But come on now.
The problem here is everything is super expensive. It's just ridiculous, and the wages do not keep up with the stupid expensive nature of everything. And remember, it's like if you order something on Amazon, you get it like the next day. When we order something from Amazon, it comes 3 weeks from now. So nothing is immediate when you're ordering, and we obviously we order a lot of foreign stuff that comes from Asia because it's the closest to us, but shipping is expensive. I mean, I sent something to Lee DM Insomnia yesterday, and it was just a little tube, and it cost like $16 to send it.
Wow. That's wild.
I mean, when I send a DVD from my website, that costs, I think it's about $15 to send a DVD. So like
a DVD?
Just a DVD. half the price of the DVD is swallowed up in the shipping. And the thing is, I used to sell it at a certain price and then add the shipping on top, and no one bought it. So then, okay, free shipping, but I have to put the price at a certain point so I can afford to send it to you.
Now how come when I buy something from China, it gets here super quick and it has no shipping? I guess it's coming to America. Well, see, this is my plan for you. Okay, we're going to take a bunch of outboard motors. We're going to put them on the coast of Australia, and we're going to push it into California. That way, you guys will have better shipping. You'll be able to get stuff quicker. Amazon will deliver to you. You'll have a better life. The
real plan is to rope up a huge iceberg and put on the outboard motors, and then float it around and sell the water to all the countries that need it.
Here's my other plan. We're going to take all the Californians and we're going to ship them to Australia, and then ship all the Australians to California.
We're already there,
and we'll be a lot better off and a lot happier.
Have you seen any of your own TV shows or movies? They're all Australians.
Oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Like,
every out of work
Aussies coming from?
Every out of work actor and waiter in LA is Australian.
Most of your Marvel characters that are acted in the Marvel movies are Australian actors.
That's right.
Oh yeah. Quite a few of them. Yeah.
Even the guy that played Superman stated that he was, even though he's born in America, he lived in Australia for half his life. Mm-hmm. So what does that?
Yeah. Well, Mel Gibson was Australian, but like only for a year or a year and a half, and then he was, shipped over here to America.
Yeah, we got rid of him.
No. Austrian
We got rid of him. We got rid of him.
They want, you're too nuts for us. Like, goodbye.
Yeah, we don't want this guy anymore. You can have him.
Yeah.
We'll fund a movie, this next movie. How about that? He can stay there.
Yeah. The Australians all pitched in.
We all pitched in as a group.
Oh.
No, Australia has some cool TV shows though. They had this one with a zombie thing that was really a cool show. That the zombie apocalypse happened, but they cured it, and the zombies. I watched like bits and pieces of it because my friend sent me a couple of episodes. I was like this. I'm like, why doesn't America make something this cool?
Have you ever seen the movie Black Sheep?
Yes.
That was made.
Yes.
That was the funniest movie that was not supposed to be funny that I've ever seen in my life. When I saw the trailer for that, I said, I've got to find this movie. I have got to find it. I mean, a bunch of
the best thing about Australia is if you give a movie no money, they make a fantastic film. You give it $200 million and it's rubbish. We can't make high budget movies. We can only make low budget movies, and that's what we excel at. But the problem that we have is when the government funds movies, they say it's got to be Australia centric, and you've got to spend $1.5 million. So it's no longer a low budget movie anymore. It's a high budget movie, in Australian terms. So you get all this yawny kind of like, toe the line kind of movies that get made. And none of the cool stuff, the zombie films and the action movies and all that kind of stuff, which we used to do very well in the 70s when, it was a free-for-all in terms of movie making. But that all kind of got killed. So
hey, this is totally unrelated. It has to do with crafting.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you. Somebody had made a mini inn, and it had a family in it that at night they had a picture in it, and it would turn around and it would show them for what they truly were, which were all kinds of monstrous things. And I cannot for the life of me find it or remember who had it on their channel. But I mean, one of them was, I think, a werewolf, and on one side of the picture it was just a normal looking family, but then they had it to where they could turn the picture around, and the people were like ghouls and vampires and werewolves.
It sounds like a Scotty video, but I don't think it is, because
it wasn't Scotty. It was, and for the life of me, I've gone through and tried to figure it out.
I know the person. He stopped making videos. He was I interviewed him too. Dang it! I wish I had my list of my interviews.
Ben's RPG pile.
It's not Ben.
No.
It was he started making terrain like you do, and he was something newbie. A terrain newbie did that for his tavern.
That might be it. That might be that. I got to write that down and read it because I've been wanting.
See, this is the hive mind at work. The crafting hive mind.
Well, he was making stuff for wargaming and stuff like that. He started making terrain, play role playing stuff. And since he was such a noob at it, he called himself the terrain noob. That's it, terrain noob.
I think that might be him.
Terrain noob.
And
yeah. I think
he sketched out just a little plaque for it. He made this tavern, which was really phenomenal. And he put this little placard on the thing, and he made a joke about it, saying, "What if I flip this around and it was the ghouls and everything and that?" And he decided, "I'm gonna make it anyway." And he went to his computer, showed people. I made the family picture and made the ghoul picture at the same time. Made the plaque, and that was one of his videos. But he took a lot of them down, so I don't know if that video is still there of him making it. Okay. But he did make that video.
Maybe that's why I couldn't find it, because I was going through everybody that I follow. And I was going through every single one of their videos, and I could not find it again.
I have
it was a good build.
People, so I go through, I call it the YouTube rabbit hole. I end up watching one of DM video, just a regular video, and you know how you can leave it to keep on going, right? It went from his video to a couple of his videos of him making stuff. It went to DM Scotty. Then it went to Wylock. then went back to DM Scotty, went to Quasi, and then it went to one of my videos. I was like, how did I come into this line of stuff? I was watching how I make stuff. I'm interviewing these guys. How the heck?
See,
and I'm like, what algorithm they have on this? It's just crazy.
I don't know, but I kind of like it a lot of times because I didn't know anything about Quasi. I didn't know anything about you. Now I've watched Scotty, and from Scotty you get other people because you just listen and okay, oh, they have. But I've never known about Quasi's. I can't wait to see his site or your site. And like I said,
I haven't made it. I started. What happened was because my internet was so shoddy, and I did quit smoking for a while. I made a video every day for almost a year about me quitting smoking and how I did it. And I mean, it worked. I went the gum route, and I started drinking. I stopped drinking soda. I drank tea. The reason why I got the jolt is because of nostalgia. That's the only reason why I got it. I haven't had it since I was in college. I had to get it. It's going to take me almost about a year to drink the whole case.
You wanted to have that special battery acid flavor again.
Yes. Hey, now Red Bull. I worked at a place that they stored it, and when this stuff would get on the concrete and leak, in 15 minutes it would eat a ring out in the concrete. And I'm like, you guys are drinking this crap? Come on.
I drank Red Bull one time. I was at a YouTube convention. It was Players Live too. They were giving it out for free. And I'm like, I never had it before. I thought my heart was going to explode. I only drank half a little, the little cans? I only drank half of that little can. I'm like,
well, the college kids, they'll go to the bar and they'll drink that and they'll drink 6 or 8 drinks that each have, one of the cans that are whatever size, and they're going to the hospital with the heart problems.
Yeah, it's well, in the process, I won't drink Red Bull because Red Bull's way too strong for It's not just caffeine. They have caffeine and B12. B12 alone is a good energy supplement. If you're gonna do anything with energy supplements, B12 won't make you sick. It won't hurt your heart. It'll just pick you up. That's why they have the 5-hour energy drinks. Those 5-hour energy drinks are just almost pure B12 and some fruit juice and stuff like that to make it taste better. Now, Red Bull is caffeine, sugar, and B12. I'm sorry. Why would I want to put kerosene in my veins? That would just make that just makes your whole body don't know what to do. I mean, if I wanted to shake like a living vibrator, I don't want to.
So anyway,
my wife would be happy, but I wouldn't.
That's it. You're banned.
So what are the 4 apocalypse horsemen of the crafting world got planned? Well, let's hear some of this. I know you guys got to be brainstorming.
We have been brainstorming, and because of the time zones, I go to sleep at night and wake up to like 500 comments on the private chat on Facebook. Then I got to spend my first hour of my morning reading everything, and then I respond with 500 lines of text. So that's how our interactions are going at the moment. But look, there's a lot that we have ideas for, and obviously we want ideas from you. We forgot to have a T-shirt at the start. That was a big faux pas on us. So you got to have armor. People have to wear armor. But there is I
want one of your shirts. I'll wear it proudly. Oh, please. I'm amazed that you guys.
I would like a T-shirt with the 4 horsemen with each one of your little faces put on there. That would be a good T-shirt.
If you look at my Drawing Worlds channel, I put my art onto stuff on Redbubble, and I'll just show you something quickly. This is my art that's been put onto a throw pillow.
I like that.
So
very nice.
I didn't think it would look as good as it does. It's really, really cool. So have a look. If you go to redbubble.com, I think it's /DMG info. I put my artwork on there, and you can actually get this the Four Horsemen on a mug, and that's what I've just ordered one because it looks pretty cool.
Okay.
But I only ordered that yesterday, so it'll take 3 weeks to get to me.
but it's got to have each one of your little heads, especially Scotty with his hair
across the mug.
Yes, that would be awesome with your little heads on the horseman.
There's other ones like this one that I did, which that was I think there's a video I did on this one, but I'll if there isn't, there'll be one coming out for that. And I also on that channel you can see me actually drawing the Four Horsemen picture as well.
Nice. Now that's redbubble.com.
Redbubble, yeah. I'll get the actual address for you.
Okay.
So Quasi, what are you up to?
Me right now, I'm kind of at a standstill right now. I just got done doing videos for my beer channel, which is called the Point Rock Review.
I subscribe to that.
Did you? Thank you.
My friend likes to drink craft beers. I stopped drinking alcohol. I've been alcohol clean for about 15 years. So, but my friends drink and they like craft beers. They don't like Budweiser or something. They like homebrew stuff, you know?
Yeah, I got you. I don't care for Budweiser either.
Well, all the major breweries now are owned by that Brazilian and Belgian company. I think our biggest brewery that's American owned now is Yingling.
Yeah,
I think South African
and that's
breweries,
pretty amazing.
I think South African breweries actually own.
They own Miller. They own Miller.
SAB Miller is one of the biggest brewers in the world. And they
Yep.
Well,
and that's because South Africans drink too much.
Awesome. When I lived in Orlando, I went to my friend goes, "Oh, let's go to Yingling to go and get free cases of beer out. I don't drink. I'll take your case." I'm like, "Why do you give free cases out?" And he goes, "It's just a promotional thing. If we go, we get to walk through a plant and see how they make the beer, and then they give us a case of beer." So sure, I'll go. I was more engulfed in watching them make beer than thinking about me getting free shit.
Yeah, that's. Hey,
I was like in awe, going, all this goes into making beer? Holy smoke! I didn't even feel it.
If you ever get a chance, you start out in the brewery, you go through a tunnel that has the old oak vats that they used to use.
Yep.
And you end up in an underground little bar, and they bring out all the beer for you to try. They pop open pretzels and the chips. Man, it is an excellent tour.
I didn't drink, but my friend. He goes, "Dude, thank God there's buses." Because we left his car in the parking lot. We took a bus home. We took a bus home to my apartment there. He goes, "Dude, I need your couch." I'm like, "Don't worry, sleep." Next morning, he goes, "Dude," he said the line. I almost died laughing because I felt like it was an 80s film, a 90s film. He goes, "Dude, where's my car?" I died. I just went, "What did you just say?" I went, "Dude, you got so trashed by just taking samples. We had to take a bus. We left your truck at the brewery. We had to take a bus to get there now." He goes, "We got on the bus, get to the thing. They had a sign saying, 'Thank you for the good trip.'" He put it on his car window. "Thank you for a good trip, and thank you for taking the bus. Here's a coupon to get another case of beer. Have a nice day."
Oh, nice. See, I don't get to drink at all.
That is the coolest window thing I ever seen from a company. You know, they knew that he got drunk from their samples, and they knew that since he was good enough to just leave the car there, and he took the bus to go home, and he knew he was coming back. They figured he got trashed just on samples. Let's give him another case of beer. That was awesome.
I don't get to drink at all. So when I finally do get off the road, I do plan on becoming an alcoholic, and I look forward to that. I will be drinking plenty of beer.
I was a tequila and scotch man myself. Give me any kind of tequila. My favorite is Blue Corvo 2.5. It was a Mexican tequila. It was so smooth, but the bottle was bright blue, so everybody thought the tequila inside the bottle was blue. When you poured it in a cup, it was beige. It freaked you out every time you poured it.
Yeah, the Mexican tequila is good. The Canadian tequila, not so good, but they try.
I only know the Cokes, so Mexican Coke, Australian Coke.
Oh, speaking of that, you've been to Japan. How did you like all the different flavors of Pepsi and Cokes and stuff? I mean, they have cucumber Pepsi over there, which is kind of nice.
They've got a milk soda, which is made out of milk. I mean, but then again, in the States, I had a bacon soda.
Oh yeah. So we love our bacon.
No. Read what this says.
Yep.
This I got this just for shits and giggles. I'm like, I'm gonna try it. Right? This was at my daughter's goes, Dad, look, caramel, and she knows I like caramel. I'm like, salted caramel soda? How would that taste? So I grabbed it. This stuff, it took me 3 days to drink it. I drank like this much, and this much. It took me 3 days. I'm not kidding. It's like you're drinking. Have you had caramel, like caramel candies? Salted caramel candies? It's like you're drinking one. That's how strong it is. Who's texting me now? Jeez.
So, by the way, guys, going back to crafting, what kind of terrain would you guys like to see in the future?
Yeah,
what?
I want to see ice cream. I want to see ice cream.
I like all kinds of terrain. I like the new 40K, the newer destroyed buildings, but I like fantasy. I just like it all.
So, Alex, do you like more dystopian stuff?
I like everything. I like seeing people make all. There's a Spanish company that makes tables, and he had and he also makes like, it's almost like a briefcase for playing the Blood Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And it opens up and it's your playing field, and he's got the they make some really good stuff out of MDF. Everything's made out of MDF. It's tough as hell. I don't know what kind of prices he gets, but he made a little board that was like 31 inches by 31 inches, and it had a ship. And he was talking about it took him 250 hours just to make the ship. And I'm like, well, 250 hours, if you're only charging $10 an hour, you know, that's $2,500 just for the ship. Yeah. I mean, how much do you charge for a board? But I can't remember their name, but if you ever see their videos, man, it's they make some cool stuff, really cool stuff.
Look at Greenleaf Terrain. They're a I don't know what country they're from.
I think he's Canadian. I'm not sure, but I think he is.
I think he's another country. I should say, because he sounds more it starts with an N.
Norway?
No, I think he's Norwegian. I'm sure it's the way he speaks, because he doesn't sound like he's French. He doesn't sound like he's from England, and he does not sound like he has that slur that of the mixed language they have there. He does not have that accent, you know. But Green Train has a lot of stuff like that. They make boards and stuff like that but they're mostly 40K stuff. Mm. But their stuff is like really phenomenal too. But they do a lot of foam stuff. A lot of companies are going foam. I like the funny thing is the reason why I got into watching DM Info was because of Scotty. Because Scotty gave him a plug, and I ended up going down the rabbit hole. And I watched four of his videos. I'm like, I have to get this guy on my show. Then he lost his dang channel.
You lost your channel?
Yeah, I lost 10,000 subscribers. That's why I'm only at 16,000. People often ask why have I only got so many. You know, my subscriber rate is so low. It's because I lost 10,000.
What happened? How did that happen?
It's a YouTube glitch that basically. Oh, okay. I'm a person who runs experiments all the time, and yeah, so there was a glitch in YouTube, and I'm one of the only channels on YouTube that you can actually you look at one of my videos and you'll see there's no view count, there's no public view count. So if you look at my very early videos, for like video 0, video 1, 2, 3, etc., although they've got hundreds of thousands of views, you as the public can't actually see how many views there are because it doesn't show it. And yeah, I've stumped YouTube. They don't know how to fix it.
So he does a shout out on Facebook. I need help, right? He does a cry out for help. And this is the coolest thing. I don't know. I do. He does the thing. If anybody helps me, shouts out me, and makes a video and all this stuff, I'll do something for you. Of course, I do a video. He contacts. He goes, thanks a lot. He goes on my show, and he goes on a live show. I had a live show with him, which I think about what 60 people showed up, and that was it. Not many, and it was pretty decent because I never had that many be our live show. I never did a live show before. Having a live show on YouTube is not easy.
Well, look how this one started.
Yes.
But I don't really know what program you're using here, but I like it. It's like it reminds me of the old original Google Plus when I first started when I was beta testing Google Plus.
This is Appearin. It's Appearin as a website, and then the stream I use XSplit to basically put the Appearin into XSplit. Yeah.
Well, I've been using what is it called? Give me a second.
There's Zoom,
OBS,
which is popular.
OBS Studio.
Yeah,
I use OBS Studio.
XSplit and OBS are the two kind of standards that people use.
Well, I tried XSplit. It kept on freezing up my system for some reason.
Yeah,
and
I actually use the paid version of XSplit because there's a whole lot of little features that I use. And then because this is broadcast on 4 different platforms at the same time, so Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and Twitch, I go through Restream. So I stream to one website and then it splits it to all the other venues. But of course they keep changing it, so every time I do it, it's slightly different. That's when things get cocked up a bit.
Well, that's cool. But when we did, we didn't have all those bells and whistles.
No.
And
well, I would like to say, have you seen AJ? AJ, who used to be on Crafters Tavern, he's up at 10,000 subscribers now with his monster ecology videos. He's got a wonderful channel happening there. So if people remember AJ from the original Crafters Tavern, his monster ecology videos are very, very cool.
Oh yes, Dungeons and Glue Sticks. Oh yes.
Awesome.
You want
yes.
John? Throw down, John. What's going on? Whew. I can sit back now. The show runs itself.
Here, I do have a crafting question for you. I see everybody using foam to do buildings and stuff. PVC comes in sheets, and you can get it 2 millimeter, 3, all the way up to, I think they got it up to 10, 12. And nobody uses that. That stuff is so strong. If you heat it up either with boiling water or even a heat gun, you can mold it to any shape you want. And as soon as you let it go and take it away from the heat, it retains. And I'm just wondering why nobody's been using that kind of stuff. I mean, it's not as easy as foam, but it's a lot sturdier.
I think it's a little bit more expensive, too.
Well, the PVC sheet, for me, costs a lot. Because if you go to order like through Tab Plastics or any kind of plastic company, it costs a lot of money to get PVC sheets. Now, if you know a supplier, like I have 2 plastic suppliers here that do piping, they make the sheets too, but they use it for school walls and the Poconos. And you can get their offcuts for like $13, $14 a piece, but they're only like 10 inches or 15 inches a pop. That's why it's good if you're gonna make bases with it, but it's not good if you have a lot of money, then it's great. You're right. It's great to make stuff with it, but the cost is a pain.
So I think Lord Morbius just said it's time for me to go and make a sandwich, so I can just let you guys run the show. John, what are you up to, mate?
Sorry.
You're
I don't know. I've never done this live stream thing before.
Oh yeah. You're new at this stuff.
Clear camera though. That's cool.
Well, hair and makeup did a good job on you. You're looking fine.
Yeah, look at all that.
Very, very dapper there.
The only smart one here is Quasi because he's wearing a damned hat.
Right.
Well, the room I'm in is currently probably at about 38 degrees Celsius.
So
I'm sweating like a pig. But John, what's next on your agenda? What are you going to be building for us live?
Just started today doing the floating wizard's tower. It's going to be on an island and everything. I think overall it's 40 inches tall with playable interiors.
So these things that you're making, you're actually making it for people who are actually commissioning you to do these. Is that right?
Yep. Well, this one is for the person that won, Heather Patterson, who won the New Boars contest. This is the grand prize that she got. I just finally getting to it. But yeah, normally these are all commission pieces.
Sweet. And how is that going?
Not too bad. It's been going so busy that this is actually my last one I'm doing, I think, for till next year, so I can actually do some of my own stuff for a while.
That's the problem, is you don't have any time to do your own.
Yeah, tons. I want to build
this is so sweet, but I got to give it away.
Yeah, exactly. Like, especially those last ones. I really like those.
and is there a reason that you don't paint them? Or it's just, is that people request that you don't paint them? Or?
It's cheaper for the clients because if I'd have to charge them a little bit more for that too, and it's just easier. I can get it to them quicker, and a lot of people can paint a lot better than I can. So I'm not shy to say that I'm not the greatest painter.
Oh, yeah. I seen the ones you did paint. They looked pretty good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I'm going to be painting this next one too. So
sweet.
Got a little bit better with the airbrush.
I like when you
broke up there.
When you're starting carving and stuff like that.
What's that? Breaking up some there.
When you do Facebook stuff, I like when I've gone through. You're making this. I'm like, what? And I totally pass by it because it goes so quick. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? Because I started carving stuff. I was like, what's he making? I saw this pink thing. That was all it was a pink thing.
He has marathon videos. God, they're 2 and 3 hours long, and there's to build one thing. It's seven different things. If you watch the whole thing from start to finish, you probably got 2.5 days in it.
You still
watch the video.
Like a quarter of what actually happens.
Yeah.
What it does.
That's the edited version.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
What it does show is exactly how much time it takes to actually do this.
A lot of people like to watch.
Sorry, John. What was that?
A lot of people like to see. Like a lot of times, I'll work myself in a corner and try to figure out how to actually get out of it. I get a lot of compliments about that stuff.
Yeah.
Like today, I actually had a disc-shaped piece, but it was beveled, but I needed to cut straight into it to fit like a rectangular building, but that wasn't centered on the actual center of the disc. So it was offset. So trying to figure out how to get those cut in straight and everything. It was a royal challenge, but figured it out luckily. But yeah, it was a pain, and people love to see stuff like that to figure out how to work around things like that.
Brainstorm, because it's a better idea. When you brainstorm, it's amazing, especially how you carve things. I mean, when you carve foam like wood, I'm like, the detail that you get just from the regular foam is amazing.
Thanks. Yeah, I like to throw it out to the crowd too. And I'll usually give options. I'm like, all right, what do you want me to do? You want me to do a round door on this? You want me to do a square door? You know, I let everybody else decide because I just frankly don't care. So, but yeah, I enjoy doing the live streams. I am once this commission is done, I'm going to be getting back to doing a lot more tutorials and stuff. I'm going to start showing how I do all my buildings from the very beginning all the way to the end, and showing different options on how to do like walls and shingles and all that other stuff. I don't have the time with the commissions and the live streams. That's
I would say, as a suggestion, do some videos on how you actually plan them.
Yep, I did do a video on that once.
Yeah,
I did show because I like to draw mine out on a CAD program,
the
2D CAD program. I did a video on that at one time.
Yeah,
it's out there, but yeah, it would definitely be a little bit more in depth with that as well, because I was getting beat up about that, and so I figured I'd just do a quick video on it.
Because I mean, that's half of the effort is having it
Yeah.
planned out and then going, okay, now I know what I'm going to be doing. Otherwise, you're just slapping things together like
Yep,
I do.
Exactly. Yep. But like that, the Mrs. Claus cottage that I did, I just threw that together all by itself. That was part of that last commission that I did. I didn't even draw that one up. I just like, it'll be this shape, and that sounds good. And I just went with it from there. Just been doing them for so long now that it's pretty easy for me. But definitely, you need to plan ahead. Otherwise, you're going to get yourself stuck pretty bad. A lot of people are doing that right now. I've got the contest going on for hitting 3,000 subscribers. So everybody's trying to build some type of building and submit it by the 9th of December. And they get a chance to win a Proxen and a couple of the jigs from Shifting Lands and that. So it's going to be pretty cool. I'm going to have the Crafting Guild community actually do the voting on it. I'm not going to be participating in the voting at all. So whatever everybody else thinks is the best one, that's the one that's going to win. So it'll be cool.
I wish I could get on that. I'm not going to be able to build with it.
Too bad. Sorry.
I got my new stuff. I'm getting somebody commit. I'm going to Home Depot or Lowe's to look at prices of wood so I can build a desk.
You got to film that stuff.
Because,
Sorry, that was my mic.
What did you say, Demon? Cut it down.
It was my mic.
What did you say, Demon Info?
It was my microphone. I hit my microphone.
He headbutted his microphone.
Okay.
Damn! This thing is very violent.
I know I'm getting a lot of from DMG. I'm getting a lot of bad feedback off his mic.
Yeah, I
can still
hear a little
understand
bit
him.
too. And Jester is cutting in and out.
It's what happens is when we go to this length, the thing starts to break down on this site, unfortunately. So usually the show is only an hour long. It's when
starting to look like one of mine.
Over an hour. We haven't talked about crafting, but a couple of times. Damn it.
We've covered all the bases: Jolt Cola,
Joe Cola, beer,
Amazon beer,
poisonous animals in Australia.
Human vibrators.
Yes.
We have to ban him for that. That's it. He's out.
Maybe the next one will be more craft orientated, eh?
Right. It's the first time I've actually been in one of these.
You should. You're always in the chat, but
still-
you're not
no,
in the. You should
This is the
join.
first time I'm in one day.
What's that? Too
Oh.
many people at once. I didn't hear what you said there, Garrett.
I think he should be part of it.
I said you should join us more often because you're in the chat most of the time.
Yeah, right. I should. Yeah, if I'm home, I'll definitely do it. I just happened to look online. I saw that you were still on because we went out to dinner. I was doing a live stream just before you started.
Yeah.
I ended it at 8 o'clock, and then I had to go out to dinner. And I came home, and you were still on. I was like, "Oh, cool!" I figured for sure you guys would have been done.
I figured the same.
I have a
But
question
then
for
Demon
John.
Jester J calls in, so we have to stay.
Come on.
What's up, Alex?
It keeps them off the street.
That's
Anyway.
right.
How long ago did you start your channel? Because I just recently found you, and it was for Scotty, of course. We did the buildings for him.
Garrett, what was it, like a year and a half ago? It was just around the same time that Jeremy started his. Me and him started right around the same time. It was like a few weeks after Wylock. When he started his thing, I was like, "Oh, that sounds like a good idea." Maybe like a couple months. I'm going to say just under 2 years, or right around the 2 year mark, something like that.
Because you never came up on the check these videos out or not. It wasn't until Scotty. I love those buildings, how they look from the front, and then you flip them around, and it's just a little bit of the, to the back. I mean, they're real interesting.
Oh, you were talking about the The tilescapes. Those are actually the
Yes.
work for Scotty. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, that's how I found you.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yep. Those were what he wanted. He let me do whatever I wanted to him. He just told me he needed these kind of buildings, and I just went from there. And that was like the first time I ever built those things. I was like trying to figure out how to dumb it down a little bit so it wasn't too crazy on him, you know, and only being just one side of a building. But I was like, oh, even though it's one side, why does it only have to be one floor? And that's when I started adding more and more and more.
Yeah, I liked the way they came out. They were fascinating. They were really cool.
We've just hit a record: 6 guests at once.
Woo!
Boom.
Now the audio is going to go to shit.
Well, there goes my monetization.
All the people that are in the chat are in the video.
And who is this? Put your name up there. Put your name up.
I don't even know how to do that. Let me see.
So PJ's been in and out the whole time.
Just click on your click on.
I'm not familiar with this.
If you click on guest, you type the name in.
Oh, we lost John.
No!
Hold on a second, he'll be back.
John!
Come on, John, you're our only hope.
One crafter comes on, one goes down.
Search your YouTube.
Phone, so.
You know it to be true. So we still hang out. I don't know, how long has this been going? 2 3/4 hours now. John just sent me a message via his phone to say his computer just rebooted. That's why he got knocked off. That's Windows 10 for you. Windows 10 will just upgrade whenever the hell it likes.
Whoop, we lost.
We got to 6 and now we're down to 4.
Now we're down.
Bam, bam, bam. It was.
So, Garrett, are you planning on using this appear.in for all your future live streams?
Yep.
Okay.
I have for about 3 of them. It's just like hardly anyone ever called in before, so because it's really easy. That's why I use it. It's because you just click on it and go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I clicked on, was kind of surprised when I was the only one that came up, and are you there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, the maximum it can do is 8 people at once. But if I pay, then I can get 12. But it'll get a bit riotous then.
Do that?
I have to sell a few more copies of Under the Tavern to afford that.
Oh yeah, I was watching that video. That was like I said, I've never played a D&D game, but that looked very, very cool.
That took a long time, that one.
And it's what, 99 cents to get that?
The basic one, is 99 cents. If you want pictures of all the rooms, then it's $3.99. But 99 cents, everything that's in the videos it's written down in the 99-cent version. So,
okay,
hands down the best module on the internet. And that's not just my mum and myself saying that.
Well, it hasn't been craft informative, but it has been entertaining.
That's part of the deal.
That's right. Are you not entertained?
But I did find Quasi, so now I got another channel to peruse.
Oh, you didn't know about Quasi.
I didn't know about you until a week ago.
Like I said, I hear that a lot.
And well, you got roll for damage as well, so you know. So we actually have a comment that's a question in the chat. JT Owensby III. What got you all into the crafts?
Scotty and DMG, definitely.
Scotty and DMG, yes.
Yeah,
my very
brain tutor.
DMG dragged me kicking and screaming into.
That's right. My very first craft was DMG's tiles that I took Bylot's measurements from. And I combined the two together. That was my very first craft that I did.
Heresy
I'm
combining
not
them.
gonna lie. When I saw
PJ?
Oh, I was gonna say when I started watching DM Scotty and the DMG, and then I got to Wylock's tiles, I was like, wow, these look really good. And then he started making them. I'm like, wow, those look really good. And I'm never that.
Cool. Quasi?
Yes. I don't know. I kind of watched everybody that came up through the ranks. I noticed my style is more like Black Magic Crafts, but you know, I take a little bit from everybody. You know.
They asked you what got you started, mister?
Yeah.
What got me started?
What got your ass?
Will you pay attention?
I'm trying.
Damn it, man! This is Crafter's Tavern.
The same crap that I got to deal with on my channel. Uh-oh.
Whoop, wait a minute. Child.
Headphones. She can't hear. It's okay.
Sweet. We'll all wave like we're not swearing.
Yeah, I'm talking to all those people.
Crazy people. Crazy people.
Yes.
She actually helps me make a lot of the stuff that we craft. So she watches a lot of these shows with us.
Oh, great. So now we have to cut the swearing. Damn.
Is she like the little girl that saw one of Scotty's older videos, and when he had his hair was actually black?
Yeah.
And she said, what happened to his hair? Crafting, it does it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of people's kids who like to watch Scotty's channel.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I don't recommend any watch mine.
It's not the live shows.
Yeah, don't Google that.
The Google Hangouts are even worse. Oh my God.
You come
Well,
with a ham.
Lee might be getting back into his marathon live chats again.
All right, guys. Well, it's 10 p.m. here, and somebody needs to get in bed.
Only 11
I will
here.
see you guys later.
The movie.
The movie. Come on, Dad.
Watch
The
the
movie.
movie. I want to watch the people talk to you.
Oh, I liked your paint holder there, John. I'm thinking about making that out of the PVC plastic.
The dropper bottle ones? Or the
Yes,
crafting ones?
yes.
Nice.
The dropper bottles. They the PVC would be easy to route out in the shape, and it's rigid enough to hold without having to put a bunch together. And
Yep.
I think it'll work out really well.
I've seen Mel, the terrain tutor, use that stuff on a lot of his stuff. I don't know if you've watched him or not.
Yes. Yeah.
Made a lot of that. But I what I can find, it's not cheap, so that's why I haven't even bothered. And I can't cut it on a hot wire table. So
Yeah, right.
Yeah, it's like, damn, why is my wire bending?
Yeah. What's these
Need a
fumes?
thicker wire.
Why is my house
It
on
doesn't
fire
work.
again?
Should I be?
It doesn't work too good on plyboard. Oh, we got another one coming in. Uh-oh, up to 6.
Incoming
Here we
transmission.
go.
My computer gonna crash again as soon as someone came in last time.
He's back.
So,
How are you again?
Oh, watch the headphones.
He's just a guest now.
Yeah, guest
Your guest.
guest
Your
number
guest.
4. I'm actually going to have to wrap up the show, gentlemen. We're going on 3 hours here, and
3 hours.
I had actually planned.
Crafting for 20 minutes.
I thought it was only 10 minutes. It's been
Hey,
wonderful.
what's up? Like, come in the room.
Very nice.
Go.
It's been wonderful chatting with you, gentlemen, and the small lady.
All right, tell everybody bye.
Okay, so we'll end with Lord Morbius's
Okay.
last question here. What
Bye-bye.
is the strangest material that you've ever used to craft something? We'll start with Quasi.
Strangest material would probably have to be PVC piping.
Sweet. Okay, and roll for damage.
The strangest, I don't know if it's actually pretty strange, but mostly I just find stuff that I could find around the house, like in the backyard, trees, shrubs, with all that, and just preserve it and then use it in the craft.
Dungeons and glue sticks?
I don't know.
No!
I'm looking around,
He's
like panicking, looking around, trying to find something. I'm like,
I can't. Well, come back, Demon Jester J. What's your weird, the strangest crafting material you've ever had to use? Don't fail us now, mate.
All right, I got it. Kitty litter.
McDonald's stirs, unfortunately.
All right. You stole my kitty litter. Now I'm going to have to say chicken bones.
Did you say
Hopefully
kitty?
unused.
No. I was going to say kitty litter, but you know, now I'll have to go with chicken bones because that's what the
I've used a lot of Kraken with crafting. I mean, that kind of helps. Didn't actually make stuff out of it.
Anyway, thank you everyone for joining us wherever you are in the world. It's been obviously wonderful chatting with you people and getting to know some of the community. And of course, this show is every fourth Friday of the month at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, John, you've got to put it in your diary so that you're there next time.
Right now.
Buggering off to bloody dinner. So join us again next month. It will be live on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch. So I'm the DMG. If you didn't know who I am, just like how on earth did you find this video? Thank you for joining me, and I will see you in the next one. Peace out.
Thanks, Garrett.
See ya.
Later, guys.
Have a good night, gentlemen.
Cheers.